into a sea of pods, or to cast our pod into a sea of cast to the pods. Except nobody has iPods really anymore. They're just in your phone, or I don't know, maybe something else. I'm pretty sure Androids can store all that shit too, so Hey, it's Matt. This is Your Music is Bad and You Should Feel Bad. And this is how we're doing it now. Maybe. Anyway, so Rich and I went to a bunch more metal shows. Surprise. But don't worry, there'll be more exciting, accessibly awful things like our Pitbull extravaganza, which if you haven't heard it, I think it's our best episode yet. It's the last one, episode 17, I think. Pitbull, let the pit out the cage. Dale. And we learned a lot. It was really the kind of infotainment that we strive for. So check that one out, and also check this one out. And if you like them, subscribe on iTunes or yourmusicisbad.com. So we went to see Fate's Warning with Imminent Sonic Destruction and Next to None opening on the tour. We saw the last show of the SymphonyX Overkill tour, which also featured for one show Sanctuary. So that was a great lineup and right up our alley. So we also talk about a few other local random shows and other things and some tangents. And it's really, really long. And I was going to chop it up into multiple episodes, but the appropriate chopping times were not there. And so I said, forget it. Let's, keep all the progressive metal in one place. And so here it is. Oh yeah, so
that was the next show.
Oh, that's right. That's the.
We'll just go in order. It'll be funnier.
Yeah. All right. So
I'll get confused otherwise.
All right. So we went to see. The headliner was Fate's Warning, and the opening bands were Next to None, which is Max Portnoy's band, which is Mike Portnoy's son. Mike
Portnoy's the overplaying drummer from Dream Theater, for people who don't know.
Yeah. And his son is the overplaying drummer from Next to None. And then the next band on the tour was Imminent Sonic Destruction.
Wait, it was actually a tour?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
they were on the tour. Yeah.
Oh, where'd they play?
I mean, it was a short tour. It was a Fate's Warning tour, but
they're like places you can drive to from Connecticut.
pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I think, where else did they play?
No, it's not important. I just didn't realize they were on tour.
Yeah.
We remember that on the last episode I was on, you were like, yeah, this Fate's Warning show on Tuesday. I was like, oh,
right,
really?
Right. Which I almost...
are we going?
Like, I knew about it, but it was one of those ones where I was like, yeah, that's not going to sell out. And so, like, as long as I remember before it happens, I can go, which I did. But yeah, I mean...
Good job.
Anyway, so I guess, like, okay, Next to None. I saw them last year. I saw that, a few months ago, not last year. I saw them open for Haken and somebody else. And
awesome show.
Yeah,
it was an awesome show. I don't remember who played.
I remember Haken and I remember them. I thought I don't remember the other band.
Probably because they were terrible.
Probably. Or I intentionally skipped them.
Be like, you've been spared my wrath because I forgot who you were.
Right. Yeah. No, sometimes it's just better if I forget that I saw you. I mean, not that like, we have huge sway or more than 15 people listening at a time.
This is Matt actually coming out about his drinking problem. He's like, I drink to forget.
I don't remember.
I'm driven to drink to forget. I go to so many bad shows. It haunts my dreams. You should write a concept album about. It's like your country prog album
about my descent into alcoholism because of all the shows I went to.
Of all the drinking to forget.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be on Cash Grab. Call it Drink to Forget, but it's secretly about like shitty bands and stuff.
It's about the rest of the album.
Right.
It's a vicious cycle.
Right.
You listen to the album.
And then you listen to the album that you made.
And then you drink
to forget that you made it.
And then you forget, so you listen to it. And then, yeah.
All right. So Next to None. Yeah. I mean, they're all right. They're like, they're a prog metal band, and they're really like, Dream Theater school prog metal, with, a few little like.
No, but they have like a major like core influence.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Cause they're like teenagers and like
kids.
Right.
Yeah,
and there's a little bit of that, and everyone under 25 sings with at least a little bit of that emo thing to it, and so there's kind of that, but I mean, actually their singer's not bad. He's like the keyboard guy. But yeah,
they all like could play.
Right.
It's just that I thought the songs were really bad.
Right. Yeah.
And I have the first note that I have on them is this a different song? ? Because right, there was this point where you're just like,
Right. We were like, is this the... Well, because it's Dream Theater style of prog. And so like, even Dream Theater at points, if you don't know their material, you just be like, is this a different song?
Right.
Like,
Well, yeah, because the songs are so disjointed.
Right.
Like, you're like, this sounds different, but I don't know if that just means the song's really long or like this is a new set of ideas. Right. Well, so the note that I have following that question, though, is I don't know. It sucks the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. They like, I don't know. I don't really have... They were bad, but they weren't like offensively bad. There wasn't. Right. It was just like, I'm not into this.
Yeah, it was like they're way into Dream Theater and some other stuff too.
But it was also, I don't know, it kind of had that feeling like if one of the dudes in the band's dad wasn't famous, they probably wouldn't have gotten this gig.
Right. Or be on Inside Out.
Right. I was going to say they're signed, right?
Yeah.
They're on
Inside Out. But I mean, it is signed, but it's also like signed by those dudes who probably don't have a ton of money or whatever. But
yeah, I don't know what you get in terms of
what you get is on
support.
a Fates Warning tour.
Hey man,
I think
sign me up.
Well, and the first time I saw him opening for Haken, who's also on Inside Out, Mike Portnoy was there, Jordan Rudess was there. It was like, Uncle Dream Theater showed up to be
it was like your parents came to your gig.
Yeah, exactly. But at the time I heard that like Portnoy was on that whole tour, so I just assumed he was like chaperoning, and because he would come out and play with Haken for a song or something, and it was like, but not his son's band. Well, I mean, he's the drummer, so I guess he couldn't come out and like kick his kid off the drum kit.
I mean, he could, but that would be pretty embarrassing.
Right, his kid would probably be like, "Don't help, Dad. Don't help." Like,
well, no. So the old, I don't know if you remember the 36 rules for bands, and my favorite was like, the drummer can either wear gloves or not wear a shirt, but not both. But one of them was, it's not a soccer game. You got to tell your parents to stop coming to your gigs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. But how old are they actually? Do we know?
I mean, they're like, I want to say late teens. Like, they're not.
No, that's sufficient ballpark.
I'm pretty sure they're under 18.
Okay, well, really?
In general,
because it's pertinent to my next note, which is they had the drum kit was, so first of all, it was to the side. We showed up and the drum kit's off to the side, and I was like, oh, is this one of those deals where like they're trying to feature the drummer, so instead of having him in the back of the stage, like always he's off to the side? No, that's actually just how they were set up, because they wanted to have Fates Warning's kit set up early, because the next band did the same thing. But the other thing about the drum kit was he had a Slipknot style beer keg that had graffiti on it, which I'm not really sure what any of this was about. I also didn't notice that there was a beer keg until I saw it. Like, I didn't hear it, So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was just kind of like, is this what is this about? I don't know.
I don't know what that was about. Well, and yeah, we were talking about that the show like is like so Portnoy seemed to be chaperoning the last tour, but I don't think I saw him there at this one. So I guess this time he was like, all right, last one was fun, but you kids are on your... or they were like, Dad, can you not come on the next tour? Or
they made him hang out in the bus.
Yeah.
He's like, I've seen you guys enough times. I'm gonna hang out in the bus.
Dad, can you just like wait on the bus this time? I don't need you to like come out and play drums better than me. Or mostly the same as me. Because he sounds a lot like Mike. But the only other note I had for them was that like there was one point where they totally sounded like they were doing like Portnoy's like shout vocals from like right before he left Dream Theater.
See, the thing was I'd already stopped listening to Dream Theater at that point, so I don't even know what those sound
but
like.
That was one of the things where like when he left, one of the things I was like, well, I'm not gonna miss his like like, you know, he listened to Pantera a bunch and then wants to yell in the back of
he's
songs.
a tough guy.
Right. And so they did that on one song and I was like, so did your dad tell you that was cool? Like
maybe on the album Mike does it, and then then they're just doing the live
guest shouting.
The guest shout.
He probably produced their album or whatever. Like he probably.
Yeah, that seems like one of those things that people who aren't qualified to do like to do.
Yeah,
produce stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, so Next to None, that was pretty much their deal.
Yeah, they weren't really exceptional or remarkable. They were just kind of there.
Then. Oh, I can't decide which one to use. We should have done the whole list and then like prioritize.
I'm just going. No, I'm just going down.
Okay,
I'm just going in order because I'm telling you, I can't.
My
think
first
that
one
quick.
is like the most insulting, though.
Fine, then I'll go first.
All right.
Okay. So all right. So we got to talk about intimate sonning deduction.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with them, which you're probably not, they're from Michigan, and I want to say Detroit, but maybe just like near Detroit or something.
I have no idea.
I don't know. But I'm Facebook friends with their singer
with the sweater vest.
Yeah, with sweater vest. Tony. So he wears a sweater vest.
Let me talk about this.
Yeah, go for it. Because I don't really have a
because I didn't know about this.
Right.
I didn't know about this, and I showed up, and you're like, oh yeah, this dude wears a sweater vest, and they at the merch table they had a T-shirt. Yeah. That is like you're wearing an Argyle sweater vest.
Yeah.
But then he gets on stage and it's not like a crazy Argyle sweater vest.
A yellow sweater vest.
Right. It's just a sweater vest.
Right.
That like any old dude might wear at Christmas.
Yeah.
You know? And so first of all, I was already like, this is dumb. And then they get up there and I'm like, you're letting me down on the thing that's already dumb. You're doing a bad job of your dumb hooky thing. So yeah, that was super disappointing. And I don't know. I kind of want to know what made him think to do this.
Yeah.
But I kind of don't.
Yeah.
It's just like
all I know, because like I said, I'm friends with him on Facebook, and so sometimes I will pay attention to people's Facebooks. Because he's posted about it, and you know he posts a lot of. I think when I first heard of him, I liked the band on Facebook too, so I see their posts. And yeah, I never saw any real explanation for it. I feel like the T-shirt. I feel like he used to actually have an Argyle sweater because again, that it does weirdly like work better for like the kind of like I get it, right? You're trying to be like whatever, like this is a nerdy thing, but I'm in a metal band and fuck you. I'm just, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like just kind of lean into it kind of thing. But
it would have been funny if he was wearing like leather or spandex pants or something though.
It also would have been,
but he was just wearing jeans.
Better like if anyone else in the band was remotely participating in this thing.
Right. It was like some old dudes who have a band, and then the guy who comes to change the toner in the copy machine of your office. He was the lead singer.
Right. Well, and again, it's like. It would almost work better if it was a whole band of dudes in sweater vests, and if they found some other reason for it other than just like, by the way, I'm wearing a sweater vest.
Yeah. No, it was very Seventh Wonder-ish.
Yeah,
with that,
yeah.
like, yo, let's all dress up like we have office jobs.
Yeah. Well, the other weird thing is like, I mean, to me, it fits with a theme with this band, which is like, so bad.
They're not good.
No, no, it's the whole like we're nerdy, but we're still like cool kind of thing. Like we're trying to be like.
I got zero indications that
like,
they were cool.
Well, let me start with not that they're actually cool, but that they think they're cool. You know what I mean?
Like they're cooler
nerdy
than
band,
the other dudes that they have office jobs with.
or at least they think they are.
Okay,
The
right.
point being, like, okay, start with the band's name, Imminent Sonic Destruction. That sounds like a band name you come up with when you're like, let's start a metal band. What's the toughest metal band name we could come up with? Well, let's just make it about how we're gonna like melt everybody. Because he also does one of those people that posts a lot about like melting people's faces and shit. And they even had like I think a T-shirt that had some phrase about. Oh no, they were posting about the tour as like the "Your Face Will Grow Back" tour or something like that because they're gonna melt it off so hard, I guess. But. Right, so it kind of it flows with that, right?
Yeah.
But again, like it's one of those things where like you put the cart before the horse, and you're like, talk about how cool we are, imminent sonic destruction, and then you're like, all right, let's see what this is about, and you're just like,
I wasn't like, let's see. They just happened to be on a bill.
Well, I've heard
for a show I was going to.
The first time I heard them is they were on a Pain of Salvation tour. And this was one of those shows where I didn't yet have a podcast. So I was like, let me show up when all the other bands are done. I don't care about any other bands. I showed up
before
for
you'd chosen a life of suffering.
Right. Before I had like completely committed to
like
masochism as a way of life.
There's some, religious allegory here. About how you've
totally.
taken on.
Oh, right. I have taken on the musical sins of the world.
It's very Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah, yeah. So
I don't know. I mean, I could have done without innocent slumming dysfunction.
Yeah, I mean, interesting song decisions. That one almost sounds too much like as part of the conversation. No, so yeah, okay. So like the thing is, I saw one song of theirs at Pain of Salvation, and I've heard a little bit of their like recorded stuff, and it comes across a little better, but like I don't know, it's just. They're one of those bands. They're like there's three levels to the weird nerdiness, right? There's the actual band name, right? There's the sweater vest.
Yeah.
Doesn't it all tie into the other thing? And then there's the fact that they made up their own subgenre name, which
I forgot about that.
Progressive super metal.
Super metal.
Which is like I would be all like weirdly grammatical about it and say, shouldn't it be like super progressive metal? Because progressive metal is already a thing, and
but then you'd be falling into their trap.
But it's all
being
right. But
nerdy.
also, super is a word that it's not a descriptor, right? It's a mod. It's super, but it's like that's not a thing because if it was, it would be Spiral Architect.
Yeah.
And
dude,
that's not what that's called. So, and on top of that. I can't figure why is it super because it's not very progressive.
No, right. It's if anything, it's very prog, and they're not very good. My initial reaction was when they first started, it was like this sort of half spoken, half singing thing.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, is this like the weird intro where there's exposition or whatever? And then I was like, no, he just can't sing very well. That's that's unfortunate. I don't know. Yeah, and then just like the whole. They had the same. It was one of these deals. So all these prog bands in the 90s, right? They had. This was like before CPU speed was cheap. So you had your sounds. What sounds you played with was dictated by what keyboard you owned, right?
Yeah.
And these guys were like still living in that era. I was like every sound I'd heard on either a Dream Theater or a Mad Sword album.
Yeah, well, and
it's like that. They had like that Korg, Triton or whatever. That like, I didn't even see what keyboard he was playing, but that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, they posted something about like they were actually selling an old keyboard and they were getting a new one or something for the tour, but I don't remember what it was, and I tell the difference. Well, okay, so another thing is like, they're one of these. They want to be prog, but like they'll go for like 5 minutes of a song that's at least 5 minutes too long,
just like kind of either straight up in like 4/4 or 6/8 or something, and then there'll be like 4 measures of like trying really really hard to be as complicated as possible.
Yeah,
like we just strung together a bunch of like time signatures to make this part really,
yeah, but
and then back to like straight,
but not
straight.
The thing is, so as acutely bad of a songwriting decision as that is,
yeah,
they weren't even good at that. So it wasn't. You weren't even impressed. You were just like, don't play outside your ability.
Right. Yeah. You were like, wait, what?
What was
Why
that?
Are you trying to do this now?
It
like,
you just sound like they were messing up. And with the harmonized vocals too.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't sing. And then there was like, you know what cures a bad singer? 2 bad singers.
Right. He was frequently out of tune with the harmony.
Yeah, it was really bad.
And the harmony was actually in tune. But then he would be out of tune with the harmony.
I couldn't tell. You were paying more attention than I was. I was tuned out of immediate slimming direction.
Yeah, I mean the other thing, like I said, they were on a POS tour, and I know that they're fans, and so I wasn't surprised that like all the like trying to be complicated parts of intermittent sleeping disorder were either like Dream Theater or like Pain of Salvation sounding stuff. Oh yeah, and the guitars. I'm pretty sure they were playing Pod Pros because I saw a rack with 2 Pod Pros in it.
Okay,
and I could tell because the guitar tone was so I couldn't hear it most of the time. Now there was this one weird thing where I think like one of the PA speakers kept going out because when Fate's Warning was playing, I kept hearing like one of the guitars like it would like I could still hear the guitar, but like the top end would kind of cut off. Like I was literally watching this one speaker's light go on and off and trying to tell if I could hear the difference. And I think I did. I think this one speaker was like set to like the top part of the crossover or something, and I kept losing like high end on the right guitar. But that was Fate's Warning when I could actually hear the guitars,
and you knew what they were supposed to sound like.
Right. But in Intriguing Sword Dancing, it was just like I couldn't hear it most of the time, and that's because it's a pod. But again, that's like, well, it worked for Pain of Salvation. It's like, yeah, against all reasonable odds, pods worked for Pain of Salvation.
Well, no,
and Meshuggah.
That's the thing. Meshuggah and Ola, like he, I don't know if he's done recently, but he's had a few things where like he would record crap with the pod and then the axe or whatever.
Well, Ola now owns like everything.
Right, but that's the deal. It's like if you know how to dial it in, and it's one of those deals, right, where it's like if you have expensive gear, right, it's like it's not going to make you sound good.
Yeah.
The same deals with programmable gear. If you don't know how to do it, or you don't understand what is a good or a bad sound, like you're not going to stumble upon the good sound. That's just how it is. It sounds bad.
Yeah.
And Immigrant Soonest Destination, like, definitely did not stumble upon it.
Yeah. Well, and on top of that, like, you know, at least like an Axe Effects or something, you've got presets, which are pretty...
Yeah, and you can download... I guess you can use someone else's presets. But again, like, it's one of those deals like we talked about with the Axe. You know, you download Bulb's preset and you're like, yeah, this doesn't... This is not the sound I want, right?
Yeah,
but you and I have the discerning ability to know that, but in a lot of these bands just don't. It's like, just get a 5150 and just turn it up all the way.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, kids, here's some advice. If you don't know what you're doing, just get a 5150 and turn it up all the way. Yeah. You'll be close.
That's good advice. I like, honestly, like, I mean, like a decade ago, my whole thing was like, just get a tube amp, but there's a lot of crappy tube amps now, and there's a lot of tube amps that just not as good. So it should just be a 5150.
Well, they're for the blues lawyers.
Yeah, exactly.
They got that sweet $3,000 mojo. Be like, it'll cost you more than an Axe Effects, and you'll get one okay tone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So I have more notes.
I have more notes as well.
For infidelity suspicions dismissed. So for one thing, the sweater vest kept reminding me of that Oakley Dokley band. Granted,
for people who don't know, that's the Ned Flanders metal band.
And we talked about them on the gimmick metal. Your gimmick is bad and you should feel bad, episode 8. And granted, you know, ISD's been around longer than them. What I meant was inquisitive stoic demeanor has been around longer than them. And so I'm not like blaming them for this, but the whole look too closely resembles the Ned Flanders look. Like the like collar coming out of a sweater, even though it's not, you know, it's still too much of like.
They're actually less terrible than that band though.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Ned Flanders band is
Definitely.
really bad.
No, they were really bad. They were like, why am I, we talked about them on that episode, and we were like, why are we even talking about this right now? Because it's so.
Don't you dare bless me, man. Don't you assume things about me and my heritage.
No, that's part of my my suffering through music religion that I'm starting.
Oh, sweet.
Bless you.
So
It's like if somebody says, you know, like, we were at the Overkill show and we stayed through Overkill. Oh, bless you. For you need blessings when you have suffered through such difficult musical adversity.
So a job I recently interviewed for, they were like, you get 3 religious days regardless, just, you know, to be fair to everyone. So, you know, and he said, so some people, you know, they have like this like hipster religion thing, whatever. And I thought he was going to say the flying spaghetti monster, you know, but he was like, no, it was something they made up. I was like, oh.
Huh.
Like,
is it the general worship of irony?
I don't know. Are there tax benefits? That's my main question.
No, you got to work for that shit. You gotta. If you're clearly a cult, then you gotta go the Scientology route and coerce people into
And make it yacht.
Yeah.
The Sea Org.
Oh man, that's just begging to be a concept album. Yacht Rock concept.
But it already is.
What do you mean it is?
I told you I sent you the This Exists stuff where they had like the...
Oh, right. Well, yeah. Well, he made a Scientology like smooth jazz album.
There's still room. Right. There's still room.
Right.
There's still room to do more stuff. I'm just saying.
There's still room for a Sea Org concept album. It's just clearly.
It's fertile ground.
It's fertile ground.
It's been tilled a little bit already.
Well, and it's not as like, because I mean, also, I saw random. We're not going to discuss this show much because it was just good. But I went to see Project Object, which is the older Zappa tribute act, not Zappa Plays Zappa, which has a Zappa in it, but it's a smaller. But a lot of the dudes have either been in Zappa's band or like somehow related. And anyway, point is, they did "Token of My Extreme," which is like Zappa's L. Ron Hubbard parody song, where it's about the Church of Appliantology.
Anyway, back to intoxicant supplementification.
Right.
So here's the thing. Like, I actually had no idea how many songs they played.
Oh,
because
yeah.
it was just know. Well, and I realized this when he says something like, "Oh, this is the last song," or whatever.
Right.
And so then they're playing it, and then it was really funny because there's like a break in the song, like they stop. And some people started clapping, but that wasn't the end of the song, and then they like just keep going. And I personally was pretty disappointed.
I know that song by name because I've heard it before. It's called "Breaking Through," and it's a long. It's like I don't know if it's 20 minutes, but it's at least 10 minutes. It's a long ass song, and they're like, "Oh, this is our last song," and I was like, "This is probably not the best one to close with." And it has a long like.
Leave them wanting more.
A long, like quiet, like calm section in the middle or whatever, and So let's see. We
gotta talk about the banter.
Inquisitive, stoic demeanor. What was? Oh, that's right. The Devon moment, right? So like at one point, it's among other like I'm trying to sound like my heroes and it's not working moments. At one point he just yells, "I ripped my pants lifting something heavy, cool." And I was like, did Devin Townsend come in the back like while you were playing and steal your microphone? But no. And again, it was like, okay, so once during your show you're gonna yell at Devin Townsend like nonsense thing. Like at least he does it the whole time, so you know what you're getting.
Yeah, and then but didn't they plug? I feel like did they plug the fact that Next to None had CDs for sale?
They might have.
Like somebody, I feel like somebody did because I wrote it down.
So somebody other than Next to None, you mean?
I feel because
like we have they have CDs.
No, because it was one of those deals where they're like, it's like give it up for the other bands or whatever. You know, they always do. They're like, thanks for
Yeah,
So
yeah.
happened us whatever. And he's like, they're next to none CDs for sale. And I was like, what's a CD?
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
like-
yeah, yeah,
and I go, next to none accurately describes my interest level in purchasing a CD.
Yeah, and I think that's about when I wrote down, or during the last song, where I was like, "What's the saying? Always make sure they don't want more. Make sure they've had enough." How does that go?
Leave them wanting more.
Yeah, because I wrote down that last song had a lot of slow, sleepy parts.
Yeah, they're, immigrant shame defecation is definitely not Saxon.
Yeah, not sex. Yeah, so I mean that's about all I have for interminable slovenly derision. But we could also, let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. I was so glad when Imminent cystic eruption was done,
Yeah.
because then they played Wasp between the sets.
Oh yeah,
that was one of the highlights. I
Yeah.
was like, is this a Wasp?
Which did I say indefinite strangling decisions yet? Now I just want to say the other ones on my list because I have nothing else to say about the band.
We can just go down, just edit them through. Incessant shredding decision.
Imperial sweeping division,
Impotent Sang's Diluvian.
impertinent Slavic diplomats.
Arrogant syndrome detection.
I think that's about all I got.
I got two more. Omniscient Seamus seduction. and obvious sodomy instruction.
So
I also have a collection of other random words that
yeah,
could
I
have
had some starter
been in,
ones,
but I didn't
Yeah.
complete. I totally forgot. Okay, I got more comments. I have a bunch more. We should talk about this.
All right.
Sorry. So,
Go for it.
the bass player sprayed his armpits after sound check. I don't even remember that. Okay. And then, no, my comment when we were watching the set, because this show was on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Is I go, I'm missing Donald Trump live tweet the Democratic debate for this.
Oh yeah.
And then the other piece of banner he had was he goes, "You guys here for Fate's Warning, right?" And I was like, "You're damn right we are." And that was also when I noticed that once again, we very well may have been the youngest people at that show.
You think so? I mean,
There was
not
that
counting
one dude,
next to none.
not counting the other bands, and then that one dude.
Yeah.
And then they had okay. Then that last song, that super long one, was sort of like their power ballad too.
Yeah.
Right. That was super weird. But then so then after their set, during when we were listening to all the Wasp, so if you haven't been to St. Vitus, it's this bar in Brooklyn, like in Greenpoint, almost to the bridge to Long Island City. And there's no backstage really. It's basically the stage. You have to walk through the crowd to get to the stage. And so when they loaded out after their set, they're just carrying their stuff through, which everyone has to do. But they had those on stage racks for their guitars and basses.
Yeah.
And they just were carrying them totally exposed, 6 guitars at a time. This is an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, that
It was
explains-
super weird.
That explains why I wrote down pro tip guitar cases. I was like, why did I write that? Well, that's why.
Yeah, because they should have gotten some.
Yeah.
It was weird. Yeah, that was.
All right. Anything else for? Oh man, I said all mine. Damn it. Yeah. So I guess
for intimidate.
yeah.
Dominic deflection.
I only wrote a couple of things for Fate's Warning.
Yeah, because they were awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty much
The right at the beginning. I do have a couple notes, and one's right at the beginning. So they did that thing where they opened with like a recording, right? And so we like were standing there in the dark to listen to this recording, and then the band has to walk through the crowd. Like, it was a really bad logistical decision, because if they had just like gotten up on stage, it would have been fine. Or if they not started with this recording, but they start, so we all know like, oh, hey, the show is starting, and everybody walks in, and then they're like, all right, but kind of move out of the way so we can walk through you and get to the stage while we carry our instruments. Yeah, it was weird. But this was awesome, because every Fates Warning, so Fates Warning was my favorite band for like years, and every Fates Warning show I've been to has been awful. So again, that's why I was like, well, either it'll be good or it'll be highly podcastable.
Yeah. And
it was awesome. They sounded great. The set list was pretty good. Mm-hmm. I do have one note about that. And especially for like a Tuesday, right? I mean, it was the best thing I could have done with my Tuesday. But they're right. So the one gripe I have about the set list. So I guess I should talk about. So they played, like I was saying, the set list was awesome. They played a bunch of stuff off Pleasant Shade of Grey. They played stuff off Perfect Symmetry, Parallels. They played stuff off what's the one with Monument? You know, the really long
Oh
one.
yeah.
It's not called Islands in the Stream. That's the song.
No, it's
See, I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's like
it's so
Inside
unremarkable.
Out.
Inside Out. Oh, the one that's named after the
Right.
label.
And they played Monument and Pale Fire, right?
Yeah, so even like those songs, you're just like, whatever.
Pale Fire is like, just, it sounds like you wanted to write another song off Parallels.
Or you were trying to be on the radio. I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, like you're trying to do like Eye to Eye or Point of View, but make it even more commercially acceptable.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a lame song, but but it's not offensively bad.
Right.
So, and then they played part of Ivory Gated Dreams. Even like it was amazing. The set was amazing. They didn't play any John Arch stuff, but that's probably in anticipation of next year only playing John Arch stuff. So
they usually don't.
So the thing was, so the set's awesome. Like they're playing all of this great stuff. They sound great. Ray sounds pretty good. You know, he's not trying to go for anything that he can't do. And it's between songs, and like they're regrouping for a second, and this dude yells out, he goes, "Anything you play, we will love." And then they played one. And I'm just like, no.
Blame that guy. That's that guy.
That's clearly not true. That was like the low point of the set, as they played one, and I was just like, but yeah, aside from that, that was super awesome. So I can't harp on them. It was easily the best Fates Warning show I ever saw.
I just wrote down that when they were closing out and they were playing the 11th hour, there was some girl sitting down in the corner asleep. Oh, yeah. It's like I really looked back and saw that right as he's singing like, "I know it's getting late," but I was like, I know it's getting late, but this is a pretty awesome song. You should wake up for it.
You should maybe watch this set, because otherwise, why are you here?
Oh, and that fucking that one little PA thing I kept thinking I may or may not be hearing was definitely happening during that song, because I couldn't hear the like what I think is one of the coolest riffs ever from that song, where it like kicks in and it's like I couldn't hear that riff. You know, I could hear everything else like the under it. It's supposed to just be that riff, and you're like, oh fuck, now it's gonna get in, and then everything else comes in, and I couldn't hear that fucking riff, and I was like staring at that PA speaker like, god damn it, you only hear the one fucking riff. But no, it was a really good show otherwise. I mean, I saw them the last time they came by at Hall, and it was pretty similar. It was the same other dude on guitar, and
see, I went to that show.
Similar set list too.
I went to that show in Chicago, or more accurately, Joliet, Illinois.
Oh yeah,
and it was awful. They were terrible, and Ray sounded like crap. And going to Joliet's terrible, and it takes forever. It was the last time I ever went to Joliet, and I was just super disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, Ray seems.
And they oversold the show. Like a bunch of people didn't get in.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, it seems like with Ray, it's kind of a luck of the draw thing. Sometimes you just catch him on a really good night.
Does he still smoke?
Probably.
Yeah.
As far as I know. I mean, I haven't seen any sign that he's suddenly like just like pulling out amazing things or whatever. But But he sounded good, and it was a good set list. Yeah, I don't really have anything else for that show. Oh, the only other thing that you reminded me of, because it was on like a Tuesday, or the other night when I went to see Project Object, I basically made a point to go because Ike Willis was with them, and although I think he might always be with them, but they like bill him because he sang a lead on a lot of Zappa stuff, including Joe's Garage, which they played like 4 or 5 tracks off of, which is awesome. But he kept wanting to say like, thanks for coming out on a school night, and then they kept being like it's Saturday. And so somebody was like, a Sunday school night? And he was like, yeah, let's go with that. It's a Sunday school night. Yeah.
You're the highly religious crowd that comes to Zappa shows.
Yeah, seriously.
Very observant.
It was interesting because it was like the ticket was general admission, but there was 2 types of tickets. There was like the VIP, which was really just like the front row of tables. It was like set up like it's a new venue apparently. It was the Hall at MP in Brooklyn. It's like some restaurant, and then there's also a venue in it.
Where is it? Like in Williamsburg?
It's like it's like right off the Bedford L, a few blocks up.
Oh,
it's
north.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm in there.
I think I heard it's new. And it looks nice. It looks new, but it's like you go downstairs. There's a bunch of tables, and the thing is, if you have a general admission ticket, they seat you whatever's open when you get there. I got there pretty early, but the point is, like, I was like, I don't care where I sit because I'm by myself. So I'm gonna be sitting with some randos one way or the other. So yeah, you end up sitting with some randos, which was fun. But it was an interesting crowd. It was definitely a little older crowd, which I wasn't surprised by because, I mean, Zappa's been dead for over 20 years.
If I had to guess, I would say a lot of gray ponytails.
A few,
Okay.
not as many
as you'd think.
I think they may have passed the ponytail phase. They may have just gotten to the
they're
age
just
where
balding?
like, yeah, they're just like, yeah, forget it, or wear a hat or something. But it was
Wear your hat.
Yeah. Wear your hat. Which,
little different crowd.
yeah, I watched Fear of a Black Hat again the other night, by the way.
Greatest movie of all time. It's my favorite movie.
It's so good.
For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, if you like Spinal Tap,
it's like the rap Spinal Tap.
The Spinal Tap of 90s hip hop.
Yeah. There was
it's amazing.
Yeah, there's also, I mean, there's one other what's it called? CB4,
but it's way better than CB4.
Yeah, it is.
CB4 is good, but Fear of a Black Hat is my favorite movie ever.
Fear of a Black Hat,
it's so funny.
It's also like just clearly not like super high budget. Like it's clearly like,
oh wait, right, no one in it was ever like in anything else.
You know who was though? Is one of the 3 dudes was on that show Chuck a few years ago as like the manager of
that
Best Buy.
NBC show.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I never once watched.
He got
that
a lot
show.
bigger, and I only know because I watched that show for a while, and then I saw him in this. I'm like, oh shit, he's
20 years later.
Yeah.
He was on one episode of an NBC sitcom.
He was regularly on it for a while, but I wouldn't have known he was in that. You know what I mean? Like if those are the 2 things that you've known him from, you're like, what? Because he's a manager.
What have you been doing?
His character is like his character is built around the fact that he eats a lot of sandwiches. Like that's part of his character. He's called Big Mike. He eats a lot of Subway sandwiches. That's the joke. He's like the manager. And although if you ever worked at a Best Buy, it's like then it's
true
funnier. Yeah. His level of indifference or whatever. Like, but I didn't know he was in this. But yeah, it was the whole thing about like we gotta have the hats. That's.
If we don't have our hats, whole different set.
Yeah, that's a fantastic movie. And like I partially watched it again because you had just talked about the whole like the acronym where he like everything he explains politically.
Oh yeah.
Like PUSSY.
Yeah,
like,
Nina Blackburn goes, now Ice, you like to claim that the band's songs or the group's songs have political meaning behind them. She's like, how do you explain PUSSY? Oh yeah, well, and he's like, and he makes an acronym out of it.
Yeah.
It's like political unrest, stabilized society. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, should we talk about the SymphonyX show?
Oh, we should.
First talk about.
But first, we need to talk about what happened before the show.
Right.
So after I told Matt to meet me at the wrong corner because I forget things that like Columbus Circle is on 8th Avenue and not 7th Avenue.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, there's like 2 places over here we can go eat, and there's some Mexican joint. And he's like, yeah, that sounds good. So we go to Mamacita Bar and Grill. And so, okay, we get there, and they sit us down at this table. It's a New York City restaurant, right? Like everything is crammed together. Like if you wanted to, you could hear the conversation of every table near you because it's New York City and things are just crammed in like that. They sit us down at this 2-person table, like right in the middle of all these other tables. And so there's people at the table behind me, the table to the right of me, the table to the left of me, and there's no one at the table in front of me, which is behind Matt. And the dude comes over and he's like, "Oh, I get like let me just move your tables to give you guys some more room." And he proceeds to move our table to the point that I'm like, at this point, when we're done moving, I can't move my chair back to get out because I would hit the people behind me. They moved us away from the table that no one was at.
And the entire time we were there, no one ever sat at that table.
Right. And it was so right. I feel like there was sort of this air of like, well, a whole bunch of people are going to show up and sit at
this table. So you need to be really uncomfortable.
Right. But that didn't happen. Right. So it was just like, so I don't know if it was to make me uncomfortable, the people behind us, but then I feel like it was to make me uncomfortable because then we're sitting there and no one takes our order.
Yeah.
I don't know how long, like, and it's one of those deals where like, it's New York, it's Saturday night, like places are busy. But I'm like, we're trying to go to a show. And it wasn't like we're idiots and we got there 15 minutes before. No, I budgeted an hour to eat, which is it's just fair for like, it's just some Mexican joint. It's not like, we went somewhere where there's courses and they have to be served in a specific order or otherwise we'll upset the chef. It's like, no, they had a menu with like 1 million items on it, like whatever, they don't care. And so I just like flagged this one dude down and I'm like, you gonna like take our order? And he's like, well, I'm actually not your waiter. And I gave him this look and he's like, but I'll take your order. I'm like, damn right you will. Yeah. Cause what is this shit? Like, so dude takes our order and like, that was cool of him. Like, I'm glad he did that. And so then like, our stuff shows up and then the woman who's like supposed to be our waitress came by and like asked us all the same questions other people had already asked us. Cause I'm like, yeah, so like someone else did your job already when you were up doing whatever, because like, I don't know what you're doing the whole time we were sitting here. So then it was like relatively normal dining experience. Like the food we ordered showed up. It was fine. We ate it. And then I guess like the owner dude got wind of what was going on, whatever. And he comes over and first of all, he looks like a Mexican Ron Jeremy. Like that's the best way to describe him. And so I'm Mexican, but no one knows this because I'm like so pale. Like I'm the least Mexican looking person of Mexican descent. But for whatever reason, this guy was like he comes over and he puts his arm around me. He doesn't do this to Matt. It's like, this is like the reverse of Canada. When in Canada, when like everyone was really friendly to Matt, like this is the opposite of that.
He was like, "Oh, you're one."
Yeah, he's like,
Mexican?
"I'm of the tribe."
Yeah,
and so like he puts his arm around me and then like asks me 1 million questions, and I don't even remember what they were about, and or like we were talking about gluten-free or something. Oh yeah, he was like, where did you hear about this place? And I'm like, I have this thing on my phone. It tells me where I can eat. And then he was all like, are you going to get on Yelp and blah, blah. And we're like, no, but we will. We have a radio show. And so then like they send out this dessert we didn't order. And Matt's like, you're like, I don't give a shit about dessert.
Yeah, we're like trying to go to the fucking show.
We're trying to go to a show.
It took us
just
to
want
get the check too. Yeah.
Right. And so Matt's like, I don't give a shit about dessert and I want the check. And I look at it and I'm like, yeah, all that discussion we just had about like gluten free,
yeah.
this clearly has gluten in it. Like
Yeah.
I'm not eating it. So then he comes back by and he's like, oh, so I got this dessert for, and then he's like, oh wait, you can't eat this. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. He's like, okay, so they take the dessert back. They bring back this like flan, which was actually really good.
Yeah.
But I'm positive, like due to the timing and everything, that 30 seconds later, when the girls next to us got the same dessert that just left our table, like pretty sure it was the same one.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So then he's like, oh, do you guys want some drinks? We're like, no, we gotta go to this show.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, but we have he's like, it's the home of the 60-ounce margarita.
The original.
And I'm like, oh yeah, the original.
the
We were the
original.
first people to serve alcohol in an inadvisably large quantity. It's like, first of all, you weren't. Second of all, what part of we're in a hurry screams you should get a 60-ounce margarita? So then finally they bring the check, and so the original plan, like I just prefer to use plastic because it's like free money for 45 days, and I'm like, no, we're leaving cash because who knows how long until I get my credit card back. So we leave cash and we bolt, and that was an excellent decision because we got there like right in time for Sanctuary.
So like on the way out too, like this dude gave us both his like card. So I'm pretty sure like that must have been the owner, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He had to be the owner.
So like I got the impression. I
hope no non-owner is touching the customers the way that I was touched, because otherwise I'd have been like,
yeah. I felt like somehow the initial weight got back to him, and he was trying to damage control the whole time.
Yeah, totally.
And it was so funny too because I think it was like a week or like the same week or the week before that South Park Yelp episode. And so the fact that he was all like, hey, are you guys on Yelp? Did you hear about us on Yelp? Are you going to write a review on Yelp? And we're like, nah, dude, we just wanted to eat before the show. But it was so that like, hey, yeah, and free dessert. Like half that episode was about people being like trying to get free desserts and shit by being like, yeah, by the way, I'm a Yelp reviewer. And I was like, no, man.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that. I gotta go watch that.
On the way out, as we were like leaving, he was like, hey, take my card, you guys, Yelp reviews, whatever. And I was so tempted to be like, oh, we'll talk about you on our podcast. Don't worry. And then like give him the name of the podcast and be like, what? Why would you talk about a restaurant? And be like, because you made us.
Right. Also,
gave us
we're very loose with the format.
Right. And like, podcast is a podcast.
Whatever the kids want.
The only guarantee here is that you're going to hear some dudes talking about stuff. Maybe music, but
probably music. There's a high probability, but no guarantees.
No guarantees.
We'd rather talk about our weird experiences at Mexican restaurants.
# no refunds.
No refunds. Ain't that the truth? Yeah. So we got there. I have this note. Maybe you'll remember why I wrote this down. I go, sponsored by Just for Men.
Well, because of Russ.
Oh, but it's at the top, which made me think it was a crowd note.
Well, I mean, I thought it was the bands because there's a lot of, I mean, Russ in particular has like very dark hair right now. Yeah. And I feel like it's darker than when he was younger.
But Just for Men, I feel like there was somebody with like a very.
I mean, Russ has a dark beard.
Yeah, but I feel like there
someone else
was like a ton of dudes with colored in beards. Maybe,
or maybe it was the whole crowd. Yeah, it could have been.
Because the other note is, so the weird thing about this show was like, so general admission was $30, and then there was the like L'Amour's reunion VIP thing, which was $60. And I don't know what that was about, but on the billing, they had this whole thing about how this DJ was going to be there, and they had this bio for him, and they're like, he was the first DJ to spin Slayer in New York, and you're like, so he played a record, before other people. I was like, I didn't understand what this was going on about, but I was really concerned with the way that it was set up on the site. Like I was like, is this guy gonna have a set? Because he doesn't sound like what people colloquially refer to as a DJ in modern day parlance of like, you're a music producer, of like, you're an electronic music producer. I was like, this guy sounds like an actual disc jockey.
Yeah.
So if I have to watch a set of some old New York metal dude, like playing Slayer records, I'm going to be so pissed.
Yeah.
But like, no, I think so. We'll come back to that in a second. So no, this dude did not open with the set, but there was a distinct L'Amour's presence, and the sleeveless L'Amour's rocks shirt that I referred to on a previous episode when I went to Nuclear Assault, there was one at this show. I was like, and so I sort of confirmed, I'm like, yeah, the sleeves were not cut off. It was born this way.
Yeah, which unfortunately, I mean, if that had been part of the VIP package.
Oh, if they were handing those shows out, take my money.
Take my money.
No, but the thing, I was super disappointed because the last time I went to a show at Terminal 5 that had VIP like that, which coincidentally I had VIP for, but because I was working, it was just like the second balcony, the third floor was VIP.
Yeah.
And for this, like they wouldn't even let us go to the second floor.
Because they had that weird...
Dude was like, where are you going? I'm like, the balcony?
They had that weird second tier, which we had considered getting, and that must have been the second... the first balcony, and then the second balcony is VIP.
Yeah.
Which, usually it's just VIPs up top, and then... But I think because it was Sanctuary, SymphonyX, Overkill, they knew it wasn't going to be, like, packed top to bottom. So they're like, let's sell the balcony for more.
Just try to get some money out
right.
of it.
I think so, because it was a pretty...
It seemed like everyone that was up there, though, was like SymphonyX's friends from New Jersey.
Yeah, well, I think they were all in the VIP. I didn't see like anybody on the second floor just about, because probably nobody wanted to pay $60 just to like go upstairs.
Yeah, I don't know. Right, so then they
didn't realize that that's what it was.
They had like $110 meet and greet thing. They're like, comes with a poster.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, because people in New York have room for trinkets. Like that was weird. But anyway, so Sanctuary played, and I guess like they weren't on the tour. They just like played this one show.
Yeah, this was, I think, they just randomly were on this show.
So that it was cool though, because I mean we just saw them at Heavy Montreal 2 months ago, and they were good there. They were good here too, but it was more. So Warrel did the same thing where he's asking for a pit that like no one wants.
Yeah, I wrote down that 3 different times. He demanded moshing.
But the first time he's like, I want to see a pit. And then they start playing Autumn Years, which is a song that has like a very mellow chorus. And you're like, you want to keep moshing? Or like, what? It was...
I know. I was thinking the whole time, like, like, I mean, they may say something occasionally, but like, a band like Meshuggah, they don't have to tell anybody to mosh.
You don't have to tell anybody mosh.
You don't have to tell anybody. It's going to happen. So it's like, look, let your music do the talking. If people want to mosh, your music will inspire them to.
Right. Well, and then the other thing was, so that was just, he was just asking for a pit. He cranked it up later. Before Future Tense, he asked for a circle pit. Right. Right. He was like, I want a circle pit.
Getting really specific there, Warrel.
and then he was like, he goes, please circle pit for Taste Revenge. Please someone mosh or we'll have to stop the show.
I really don't think he will. I think you could just play a show and like maybe.
Yeah, there was some other bad banter. He goes, we're going to play a song off Refuge tonight. Is that okay? And then he goes, do you remember Mirror Black? And then, the crowd's like, and then he's like, are you sure? It's a bit foggy for me. And you're like, yeah, but he did a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
But so aside from the banner and the bizarre multiple requests for bits that nobody really wanted, I mean, they were fine. They were good. I think their set was like 22 minutes.
Yeah, it was short.
And everything they played at Heavy Montreal, I think. But they played more of the hits and less of the new stuff.
Yeah. There was less. Well, and the Heavy Montreal, I swear they were just like, all right, so you're going to listen to a half hour of our new album. All right. This is what's going to, and he basically told people like, that's coming later. Don't be impatient, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny at it for a second, but then it kept happening, and I was like, okay, now you're just pushing it because like everyone wants you to. I mean, this is going to be a running theme with this show, I think.
He should have just blamed Nick. He should have
Yeah.
been like, dude only knows 10 songs. He joined the band this week. Dude only knows 10 songs.
But yeah, so it was a little bit less like, all right, now just hang on, let us play our whole new album, and then we'll play the stuff that you really, really want to hear.
He's always been really upfront about the structure of the set, though.
Yeah.
He's
least.
always does. He's always like, we're gonna play that one.
Yeah,
Like that's
right.
something
He's
he
like,
usually
don't
does.
worry, it's coming. But you know who didn't do that? Fucking SymphonyX, man. Okay,
They
so,
need a new name.
right. I need to give some background on why this show was like the most disappointing SymphonyX show I've ever been to.
It was definitely the worst.
Yeah.
But I wasn't super disappointed because my expectations were pretty low.
Well, here's my thing. Like, okay, so I've seen SymphonyX a lot, and I first saw them at like Prague Power. Most of the time, I've seen them at Prague Power. I think that's part of it. At Prague Power, they're going to get good sound. They're going to get a long enough set that they will play enough things I want to hear. Although that, frankly, wasn't difficult a few years ago.
Right.
until
Well, that
more
was the thing.
recently.
Every time I saw them twice at Prague Power, and both times it was back when they maybe had at most one album I didn't like. Like the first
Yeah.
time we saw them, they didn't have any horrible albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last time I saw them at Prague Power, I actually was kind of like, well, you know, I'll see SymphonyX, whatever. But I came up very positive because it was like, you've put out, okay, like at the time, I would say 2 albums I have no use for, and then one that I like at the time listened to for a minute and then was like, all right, I don't care anymore. And now they have, this was before the most recent album, but I think Iconoclast had come out. So the point is, they played a good set. They sounded good. They played really well. And I was like, oh shit, you know, it's just never a bad idea to see SymphonyX. It's always a good time, and they really come through.
See, I'd already seen a really bad SymphonyX show.
Yeah, I hadn't. And part of it, I think I know why, though.
You weren't living in New York for that BB King
Right.
show.
And I just didn't bother to, either they didn't come to Wisconsin on tour at that point,
Yeah.
or I didn't care.
Right.
And I know I specifically just didn't even see the last couple of New York shows because I wasn't bothering to see SymphonyX. And it turns out it was a good call, because I think what happened is, and I think this is the same thing with this New York show, is that at Prague Power, they know that it's the Prague Power audience and that they like their old stuff. So it's like playing in Japan or something.
Right. You
But-
got to play all the shred tunes.
Right. But on tour, they think that their new stuff is going for this more like heavier bro metal thing.
No, that was the thing. They definitely acted like listening to Symphony X was not an embarrassing nerdy thing that Dungeons and Dragons players do.
Right.
They were like, no, it's like tough because it's metal. Like, we're on your mix with Pantera. Like, it's Pantera and then like Symphony X and then like Metallica. Like, and
Yeah.
it was
Well, and some of this shit, okay, so like,
it was really weird. They heavied up the songs.
yeah, so like, well, here's also, all right, so,
It was like when Corrosion and Conformity like sludged out all their songs.
yeah, okay,
Symphony X tried to get heavy.
So my personal experience with this was okay. So 5 is their best album. That's like what Symphony X should just
Right.
be all the time.
Right.
They should never not play at least one song off that album. It's ridiculous. Then the Odyssey was kind of like where I was like, okay, I think you may have like
That's where-
nailed it, and then instead you were like, on this next album, let's write a 30-minute song. It's really boring.
I thought it was like 40 minutes.
It's 30.
It's
but
super.
It
All I remember
always feels
is,
like
A,
30.
It's
at
too
least.
long.
Yeah.
And that show at BB King's, they played it.
Right.
That
No,
was part of
that
the
was-
reason why I was like, God, this is
my biggest
horrible.
issue with them live for several years was purely like, even at Prague Power, the one complaint I had about that show was you did not need to play the fucking Odyssey again.
No, and the thing was actually, so I wasn't even gonna go to that show. The deal was my roommate at the time had like 1 free tickets
Yeah.
from Eddie Trunk.
Okay.
So we go to the show, and that was right after I moved to New York. So I was dating this girl that I went to grad school with. So she's into like super bizarre concert music and not really heavy metal, but like she didn't get like we would listen to Edge of Sanity and like it was fine, you know. but like we were both not having it. We were just like, this is all. So we like leave, but then had to wait for my roommate because they played this 40-minute song that they shouldn't have.
Yeah, it's at least 30. I mean, maybe it's closer to 35 or something. It's long. It's long as shit, and it feels long.
It feels long.
So here's the thing with that song too.
It is.
Like when they put out that album, you know, they played it at Prague Power, and at that point it was like, oh shit, they're playing the really long song. But the problem is they continued to play it like every other time after that at Prague Power. And I was just like,
what?
You guys know you don't have to play that song now for like 20 years, right? Like if you want, you can just not play that song for like 10 years and then sell out a tour by telling people you're playing that song that you haven't played in 10 years. But instead, just play that song all the time. But after that, it got even worse for me. Like, so after that was Paradise Lost, which one of the many issues I had with that is it's the same theme as Divine Wings of Tragedy, which they also did a 20-minute song about. Yeah. So it's the same thing, just a different, like, I guess more specifically based on Paradise Lost.
And that 20-minute song is significantly less terrible than the Odyssey. Like you can listen to the whole thing and yeah, it's too long, but you're not like, oh, but why isn't this ending?
Right. And then Paradise Lost is the same theme.
Yeah.
But an entire album. And again, after the Odyssey, I was like, let's not maybe try that again. But honestly, I don't really know Paradise Lost because I listened to it like once.
I didn't even make it all the way through.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Because it was also the album where Russ decided it was time to show everybody.
Oh, yeah.
What
like,
a badass.
No. It was like he. So I remember reading something or hearing something where he's all like, oh, yeah, the Dio influence. And you're like, but it not. So first of all, you decided to be influenced by the worst parts of Dio, and you did a bad job of it. Yeah. So it's just bad.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, I know part of it is he's just like, I don't want to write any more stuff that's super hard to sing live or whatever. But too bad.
But they didn't. They never had like dog whistle range stuff, though.
Right. But
like,
But even so, like you could see before that like when they play the super old stuff, like because like there's some stuff on like that gets a little ridiculous.
I mean, I can't sing it, but I'm not a singer.
Right. But and again, it's one of those things where like Russ is always, he's got that a thicker voice, so like you kind of can predict that he was going to age and it was going to get thicker and more baritone-y. But
does he smoke?
I don't know, but I mean, I know he drinks a lot. I mean, there was always this thing at Prague Power. They're always like, I need my whiskey. And like, they bring him a bottle of Jack or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you know what's really good for singing high notes? Is chugging whiskey.
I got to tell a story. About that.
Yeah.
So at the first Prague Power we all went to, Prague Power 2, Russ got super lit up, right? And Angela was talking to him, and she was like, yeah, just like out of nowhere, he laid one on me, and I was like, gross.
I've not heard that story.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
no. Okay, but the thing about smoking, okay, I don't think he does now that I remember this, because so one time, when they played Worcester Mass, I went with, like some BU kids and some Berkeley kids, and this guy Dennis, who owes me $80, by the way. It's been a decade. Should probably just let that go. He was all like, wanted to hang out with the band, whatever, because he's a shred nerd. Like, we went to Berkeley, but I didn't care. I'm like, I just wanted to hang out with whoever was at the show. And so he's on the bus with them, and then he says to him, he's like, oh yeah, no, like my buddy, studies with Joe Stump, whatever, blah, blah. And so then they're like, oh, well, go get him. So I'm like, okay. So I'm on the bus, and basically Michael Romeo had two topics of conversation. One was Judas Priest is the greatest band of all time, which I'm like, okay, sure. And who's got a cigarette for me? like it would just be like, he would smoke the cigarette, and then he'd be like, who's got a cigarette for me? Like on a loop. Like these are literally the only two things that I remember from hanging out on SymphonyX's bus.
Wow.
And I don't remember Russ asking for any cigarettes. So yeah, I don't think he smokes.
So I just want to complete my minor chronicle of SymphonyX's descent into me not caring about their newer albums. So Paradise Lost, which again I just didn't even, because it was also the first time where I really felt like they were trying to do that, like we're gonna like kind of smooth it out a little and just rock, man. We're just gonna rock so that people who don't like it's still about a esoteric nerdy topic if you think about it, but if you look at it at the surface,
I could still structure my D&D campaign around
it, but it's a little less obvious because it's a little more like it's more mythology than like fantasy, because that's where they get away with like and they've always done mythology stuff too, but always with like
the one
in the
track
Dragon's
was called
Den.
The New Mythology Suite,
right?
Oh yeah, In the Dragon's Den. That's a great one.
But so Paradise Lost is a little more like it's
that's one of their worst songs,
it's like
by the way.
it's so but then after that, Iconoclast is they do the thing where it's like, we don't want to sing about dragons no more, so let's sing about like future robot stuff, but like we don't actually have any background in sci-fi. It's not really a thing we're into, but that's what we're writing this album about because it's somehow maybe less nerdy than dragons. But anyway, so and the other nice thing about that album, at least, is there was a little bit of an attempt. There were some songs where it was like, we made him stop doing the turd voice, like, I gotta take a shit. Like they made him stop doing that. But it was so obvious too. There was like a song where he'd be like, Iconoclast, and then it'd be another song where he was all of a sudden singing melodically, and you were like, oh, that's better. But it was literally like A, B, A, B. Like they split it up and they're like, okay, Russ, on these songs,
we'll make a deal with you.
You can sound like you're taking a huge dump. But on these ones, let's sing a melody and maybe people will remember we used to do that. But then the new one, Underworld, was like
not to be confused with the Adagio album. Underworld.
Yeah. And so it was like, okay, so we're trying to we'll do mythology, and then like and they obviously did try to, like, there was clearly some push on the new one for less of turdy voice. Because it is a little more a little better melodically and vocally.
Again, I didn't make it all the way through.
I listened to the whole thing because I had at this point committed my life to musical masochism, and so I sat down and listened to the whole thing. And the thing is, the main thing I can say about it is that it sounds like SymphonyX. Like everything sounds like something else SymphonyX already did, and so.
Right, they're rehashing.
Right, it's just super, super rehash. But the thing that pisses me off the most, and like I should have, I actually had planned at some point to read this like
the lyrics
press release or maybe a review, because it's kind of the same thing. Where it's just like the press release and the reviews are the exact same thing. The reviews are all just trying to like suck up to SymphonyX, and then but the main thing was, it was one of these things where like I think they may have actually. For the first time, said it's not as heavy as the last one. Like,
right.
First,
I was like, no, I remember you mentioned
I remember being
this.
like, oh shit, it happened. A band actually was like, yeah, it's not as heavy as the last one. Like,
right. No, because there was a period like around 2000,
right,
where I used to write for Metal Zine actually, and so I was directly exposed to a lot of this.
Yeah,
where literally every death metal album that came, because this was also the time when normal metal bands didn't have harsh vocals. Like
right, yeah.
If you had harsh vocals, you were either a death metal band or you were some weird prog band that had clean and harsh vocals, and you had like two different people who sang them, right? But like every death metal band, the PR that came along with their album that I was supposed to review was like, this is the heaviest, fastest, most brutal album ever. And you're like, okay, instead of like trying to be more brutal, could you maybe just be better? Like, did that occur to anyone? And that was that's like when Origin came out, who I think are one of the worst bands ever.
Oh yeah,
because it's literally it should be computer music. It's that thing where it's just like so fast, and you're just like, what? Like, is there? Am I listening to a machine shop? Like, do you guys work on an assembly line somewhere? And this is some kind of weird modernist expressionism. Oh no, you're just idiots. so got it.
Yeah.
No, so that was super funny. I remember that distinctly when you were like, somebody said
right.
It's
so
less
I was
heavy.
And I almost was like, oh, maybe they'll do something I like again. But instead, they put out Underworld. And then the thing was, their explanation of the topic was just, to me, transparent as, okay, so metal bands in particular are big on like themes and stuff, because there's just certain themes that seem to work for metal and stuff, and so they like to be like, this one's like, like Paradise, this one's about Paradise Lost,
right.
Based on,
I was saying we're gonna make the yacht metal Paradise Found, since there have been so many Paradise Lost metal things.
And so but the problem I have is that sometimes you find a thing where somebody like, read a book and they were like, I read this book, and it was, sometimes it's a good thing and they do a thing based on it. But sometimes it's just like, so I read this book and like I named the album after it, but like I didn't like understand anything in the book. Like I feel like, and I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm not saying that's Michael Romeo, but I'm just saying like sometimes that's the impression I get. And so what I specifically got for Underworld was, okay, we need a theme. We kind of do mythology stuff, but staying away from the Dungeons and Dragons because we're all tough and we're cool now.
We're like a cool metal band now.
We're like, like if Pantera had keyboards. And yeah. So
I've got a note about that, by the way.
Okay. So but the Underworld thing was just like, it sounded so like they had thought it through exactly as far as it sounded like they were describing it. Like, yeah, we thought, like the underworld and like Greek mythology and like kind of like Dante's Inferno and stuff like that is kind of what is like the themes are. And that's, I mean, it's not supposed to be like, a tied together story concept or anything, but it's like,
but it's thematic.
It's thematic, but it seems almost like I would prefer you didn't have a theme and like tried to come up with interesting things to say instead of just like, this one's about the ferryman Charon on the River Styx. Only I gotta actually look up the lyrics to that one because that is the worst on the album as far as the lyrics being like, have you read any Greek mythology? Because it was something about Charon like flying away or something, and I was like, the riverman, the ferryman who like
has a boat.
He has a boat and he like ferries you usually very like slowly and ominously across the River Styx, and it was something about like that seems as far as things were thought through, at least, and the way they described it even too. It wasn't even like, it's like, I feel, okay, I get you're being pretentious, but like you're not even like faking it enough to like make me think that you really thought it through. And okay, so here's the Sail Away. Oh, it's on
Sail
it's
Away.
On the,
that's pretty smooth.
It's on the winds of Charon, which, what? On the winds? Okay, first of all,
yeah, it's underground. You has to row,
right? And it sounds,
he doesn't have a sailboat. He has a rowboat,
right? And live, it sounds like sail away on the wings of Charon. That's what I thought he was saying live. I'm like, sail away. Okay, sometimes you use sail with wings, especially in metal songs. But sometimes it's as a metaphor.
Wings of steel.
Plane. The air is the sea of the sky, and planes are sky yachts, but. Sail away on the winds of Charon, take me away to the distant shore. But that's like not the worst lyrics on the album.
Those pretty bad.
Yeah. Oh man, that's the thing. I could probably just like, we could probably spend an episode just reading through the lyrics of this album. They're really cheesy and like.
But then I would have to listen to them.
Right, and I don't even want to have to reread. I'm trying to think of like the best. There was some super.
Well, so I wrote down an amazing lyric, which you can tell me whether or not it's from this album.
Yeah.
Stand and fight, victory or death. That was like the chorus that a lot of people were singing along to, and it kept coming up.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that might have actually been one from. Okay, so here's the. I actually wrote down and then looked up to confirm the set list because it really pissed me off. So they came out and they did 6 consecutive songs in order from the new album. They basically played the new album tracks 1 through 6, or maybe tracks 2 through 7, because I don't know if they played the like overture. I think they did. I think they opened with because it has an overture, which doesn't function as an overture because it doesn't like.
So they're not sure what that word means.
Right. You don't recognize, well, what he thinks it means is the overture is where you put all the themes from your favorite classical pieces, and then, they don't ever show up again because you didn't write them. But so 6 songs off the new one, of Sins and Shadows, for which if you don't know, is from Divine Wings of Tragedy, which at least until the sort of like new wave of SymphonyX, like was most people's like, that's their best one, bro. That's their best album. Is Divine Wings. Like even if it wasn't, that's the one that everyone thought was the best album until 5.
Right. No, the thing was, it wasn't until 5 that Michael Romeo learned how to play a riff.
Yeah.
And but the shred on Divine Wings is like very over the top.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to that stuff, like, because everyone who listened to Symphony X was probably listening to it to hear the guitar solos.
Yeah.
And like that album had like pretty obnoxious ones. Like the one that's the one that has Candlelight Fantasia or whatever that song is. Is that on there? Yeah. That solo is like extremely difficult to play.
Yeah.
And it's
and even the riffs on that album, the sort of like Symphony X non riffs, where it's just like okay, that's the riff, right? All right, verse part. You know what I mean? Like they know how to like. That's why Symphony X is I think kind of popular, because the one thing they kind of did do is they mixed the like super wanky shred thing, but they knew how to like chill out and do like a chorus or whatever. But then they
had sing along choruses,
right?
But
they used to be good, interesting sing-along choruses.
Right, they weren't like power metal sing-along choruses.
But that's what they are now. Yeah. And the new one, I think, like fully just like saunters into butt rock territory. That was one of my.
Now I do want to listen to it.
Like it still sounds like Symphony X, but they really kind of just like stripped it down to the like. It sounds like somebody is copying Symphony X, but it's Symphony X. So
see, I would think if Symphony X wandered into butt rock territory, it would sound like Winger.
Yeah, they're not. It's not that butt rocky.
Oh,
it's not quite that butt rocky. It's just enough of a butt rock vibe. Well, that and Russ seems to think he's in a butt rock band.
It's not like when Arsis put out the butt rock album.
Yeah. So let's see what else. Okay, so
Forced to Yacht.
So they did Of Sins and Shadows, which I swear of course the audience is going to react to that because it's like, one of their classic, like they used to always play that.
It's the only song that I knew that they played.
And here's the thing though, the whole crowd reaction was like 50% better than the entire rest of the set, which to me says I'm not being an asshole for saying that it's dumb that they played one old song and like everything else was from the last 3 albums, the 3 albums that I do not care for, because it was 6 from the new one, Of Sins and Shadows, 3 from Paradise Lost, and then the encore was Iconoclast from Iconoclast. So at some point before they had stopped playing songs from the new album, before I realized they were all from the new album in order, I wrote down that it was like 3 new songs and then a Pantera song, because one of those was just like blatantly, we were like, are they covering Pantera? Because this sounds...
Well, no, here's the thing. So the best time to use the restroom at a show is like right after a band starts playing, right? Yeah. So I went to the restroom during Symphony X's second song, and some guy was in there, and he says to his buddy, like they start playing the song, and he's like, "Yo, is this Pantera?" and then the keyboards come in, and he's like, "Oh, yo, that sounded like Pantera for a second." I was like, oh yeah, oh man, yeah, it was weird. No, you're right. So I forgot about the Sail Away thing. Because I remember now, like specifically hearing him say that, and it sounded like they wanted to be Rainbow, like so badly. Yeah, it was so DO'd up. But right, they had this totally like. It was, but Dream Theater did the same thing. Like where you would watch like any interview or whatever, and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, man, like we just listen to Pantera all the time." Like, and you're just like, yeah.
Well, again, I could tell Mike did when he started to yell stuff. So let's see. So 3, they did Of Sins, although before Of Sins and Shadows, let's see what else I write down.
Oh, the songs had breakdowns too.
Yeah, they have
I
breakdowns
forgot
now.
about, I was like, I didn't know they have breakdowns.
During the 5th song, Russ started doing his weird, sexy, like grindy dance.
No. We gotta back up.
All
If we're
right.
gonna talk about Russ and his antics. Okay, so first of all, he shows up wearing sunglasses
Right,
inside
which he wore for the entire
for the
set.
whole set. So for people who don't know, Russ used to be the knight at medieval times in New Jersey. Okay, so he's a pretty good looking dude. And he's decently sized. Like he was the knight at medieval times, and he has long hair, right? And now he's wearing sunglasses. It was literally, I mean, it was so pro wrestling. I was like, he looks like a
And
failed
again, he had the like.
pro wrestling.
I think the formula for men was partially at least him.
the Just for Men.
Yeah, the Just for Men was because he has like the dark, like all my hair is black, but
Yeah. And so then, so he's wearing the sunglasses, which keep that in mind. We're going to talk about sunglasses later.
yeah,
And then like he had these dance moves. But they weren't like, so first of all, it was no brain dance cracking the whip.
yeah,
And it wasn't like, they weren't metal, they were like sexy groove thing.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, Michael Romeo's gonna play this solo, and I'm gonna charm your snake, girl. Like you're like, what is going on? Yeah, and then the masks.
right. That was
Right?
the next thing I was
Right.
gonna say. Yeah.
So to keep with the pro wrestling theme, he brings out like, keep in mind, he's got long hair. He's got this like red and black mask. I'm like, is this Kane from pro wrestling? And the best part about this is the Kane mask, that costume, if you will, was completed by an actual Kane.
Actual Kane, yes.
So I was just like, is that a tip? Is he giving up the game? He's like the Kane,
Kane, yeah.
Kane.
Yeah.
So he gets that, right? He gets the mask and the cane, and then there's like these smoke plumes. It's a magic show. Like it's not like the random fog machine. Like they were coordinated. And so I'm sitting up there. I'm like, wait, so now it's a magic show? I'm like, I was just waiting for him to be like, for my next trick. And this was all accompanied by, they had gargoyles on top of the amp racks.
Oh yeah.
So the gargoyles are up there, and then he started doing these like flapping the bird wing moves.
Coco Beware.
Yeah, and right. I missed that. Good. And then on the last downbeat of that song, he like took the mask off like it was this big reveal, and you're like, oh, that's Russ Allen, the singer for the band that we saw earlier that's playing right now. I was so confused, like because it wasn't like they were playing Masquerade or something. Like,
okay, so they do have this theme like since the early albums where part of their like visual shtick.
No, the
on
first album
art,
album art is the mask.
Right, they have the comedy and tragedy
right,
masks.
comedy and tragedy. Right, those are accepted masks.
Right, and
those
so
aren't like you should wear these.
Right. That's the thing.
Those
It's
are
like all this time
Players wear masks,
and he even makes a point like of before playing of Sins and Shadows, they made a point to point out that they've been around for 20 years. And so they have old stuff. I'm like, yeah, no shit. You know who else knows that? Everyone here, play some old shit. Everyone will like it.
Well, right. Because the other thing is the other bands that were playing, Sanctuary and Overkill, also super old bands. Like everyone at this show was like an old metal dude.
Yeah. So like, there was another mask later because it was the other one, I think, like the two masks.
Right.
But
the other mask didn't give off the Demon Kane vibe.
Right.
Do I have notes about the other mask? But before that, oh man, there's so much that happened. So he called for a mosh pit too, which was weird. And my comment at that point was like, because again, they like heavied up the songs, at that point they're playing this stuff that's like heavy but shreddy and sort of like doesn't make sense. And I was like, this is like if you watched a movie and they were like, we need like a metal band for this scene, but they weren't going to get an actual metal band. This is like when they were like, can you guys like pretend to be a metal band? Like this is what you would be, because it's like every metal cliche all at once.
Yeah.
And then he did the like let's jump thing, like they were Korn or something.
Right. I wrote down at that point. I wrote down that like, yeah, because breakdowns and jumping up and down are what SymphonyX is all about.
Right. Yeah. So then, but when he gets to the other mask, he put his hair down. Right. And he put on the other mask. Okay. And here was my note. This one is more Phantom of the Opera. That's what. And so then he does that song with the other mask. And then at the end, he holds up both masks.
Yeah.
Right. But I was like, does this mean something? I don't know what's going on. So then I thought they were done. Yeah. Because it was so like, because it didn't make sense, right? It wasn't like a reason. It wasn't like, oh, there's these two characters and this thing, whatever. So they're done. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, they're not actually done. They're just going to play the instrumental. Like Russ walked off the stage and they're just playing the instrumental. And so I'm like, okay, is he taking a break? I'm like, oh no, dude, he's going to get another mask. Right. but he comes back and no, he does not have another mask. He's now wearing an Affliction shirt.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he went and changed. Well, because he had like sweat through his like sexy, like half open, like club shirt. Yeah. Oh, but that was probably soaked in sweat by this point. So he went and changed into an Affliction shirt. Yeah.
So then he comes back and now he has more dance moves. But it's during the keyboard solo, he did like the crabcore walk. Like he got low and like went side to side. But then he starts doing, to go back to the magic show thing, he starts to do the like when either a magician reveals something, right? When there's like the poof of smoke or you like move the cape. Unfortunately, he was not wearing a cape, believe it or not. He does the like reveal of all the other band members. It's like, it's time for their solo. And I go, and he reveals them. And my note is, and for my next trick, I will ruin this band.
Oh man, that's a good. I remember him saying that when he introduced Michael Romeo, he introduced him as
a composer,
a hell of a composer, probably one of the best in modern metal. First of all, it's funny that in your own, like, I understand that you're not trying to be like, we're the fucking best, but like, it's still weird to be like, probably one of the best. I'm not sure. It's probably one of the best.
It's probably the best. I don't really listen to any other metal bands.
I don't listen to metal.
So I don't know.
And I don't really know what a composer is. So, but he told me, right, because I just assumed that he told him to call him that, right? Like, don't forget to tell them I'm a composer, the best in metal. The best at composing classical pieces that have been around for a few recomposing classical pieces.
He's like, just like, well, and it's funny that you say that. Yeah. Because I was about to go, just like my hero, John Williams, which is very appropriate because they played the Imperial March.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I was like, are they playing this because it, A, blatantly rips off classical music, or because it involves masks? The answer is both.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like they're partially feels like, again, they're trying to do this like tough bro, like we ain't that nerdy thing, but like while still being really nerdy.
Yeah, well, no, but okay, but so then he had that banter though about we came around the 90s when the alternative thing was happening, right? And he goes, there was no place for metal. And then what did he say? I don't remember what he actually said, but I wrote, but now that you can't write sad songs about how privileged you are anymore, power metal? like, you know, because that was the thing. Like when in the 90s, right? College music was all like a bunch of like super privileged people being about like how hard like your pointless existence is. And you're like, dude, you have running water and electricity.
Yeah.
Like there are parts of the world that still don't have that. You know how much of an asshole you sound like right now.
And that's why Pain of Salvation wrote that song about how when you flush your toilet
and you flush
every
day. Had to dig down
And
for
flush.
his ration of water.
his ration of water.
His ration of water.
Yes. They know what they have, but do they know what they lose when we flush? And we flush. And we flush.
Matt's just gonna send this podcast in as his demo reel.
Yeah. So, I think that's about all I had written down. Yeah. Like, so after Sins and Shadows, they played a bunch of Paradise Lost songs, which is when they started trying to sound like Pantera. That's where the breakdowns come in and, all
they
the
had
poop vocals.
breakdowns.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, Iconoclast is the song with the stand and fight thing.
Yeah.
Where they try to get everybody like, stand. They were like, let's put gang vocals in our 2013
but the whole crowd,
release.
the crowd was like totally singing along to that chorus.
Right, well,
They
that
were
one-
like into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, you do know that this song is terrible, right?
They don't.
They don't. That was. I don't have any other comments. I got everything out about the mess.
I think his guitar sound is only getting worse. He switched to angles and he had like a bunch of cabs and a bunch of shit.
He's been playing an angle for a while, but they
keep sounding worse.
Here, there's two. Well, the two notes that I have about his guitar playing was that. So one, he did play on the wrong side of the neck, but he didn't do it Michelangelo style where he goes back and forth, back and forth. He did the same thing that Stump does, which is where you have like an open low E riff, and then there's like a part where you play like two notes and on the E, like, and he played just those two like on the other side, and then he goes back. And then so all these songs that like I hadn't heard, right, where it's like all Pantera E and there are breakdowns and stuff. They all had a string skipping like arpeggio like tapping thing. So they were like, it didn't matter what the song was, it had that solo, and you're like, what? Like, and they all kind of sounded the same, and I was like,
I can't tell any of the solos from the new stuff apart.
Right, because they're all like, hey, let me play this pattern, like all
It's
crazy.
that thing where like, he just reached critical mass, and so he was just like, what do I do in the solo? What I always do, kick everybody's ass. And then everyone's just like, yeah, Michael Romeo.
Yeah, no,
You shred so good.
No, that's the thing. Like I'm saying, like the Candlelight Fantasia solo is like really hard to play, but it's like a good solo.
Yeah.
And like 5, there's like actual, like even a lot of that stuff is recomposed from classical music. Like it still rips. Like it sounds good because someone good wrote it. Because Verdi wrote it.
Yeah.
It was, I was kind of like, well, I haven't listened to those albums all the way through, and
you really
not going to.
Yeah. I mean, that was my thing. It was like, they still played well, although again, his tone was I honestly, like, it was the opposite. I think his tone on 5 was the best, but it was just downhill since the like angles and I mean, again, the angles are a big part of the like sound more Pantera-y because they're super like buzzy.
Oh yeah.
Fizzy amps.
Right. They're super buzz.
It's all high end and low end. It's all like on the top, and then nothing in the middle.
But the thing is, and here's the deal. So like, Meshuggah is actually EQ'd that way. But that's the thing. When you're down to F sharp,
right,
you have to do that.
Yeah,
because the way the string vibrates at that much mass. Mike Romeo is playing a 6 string.
Yeah,
I think he might be in E flat.
No, well, I mean, he used to be in D, and I think the newer stuff, some of it they went down to C.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But he only had the one guitar.
Right.
He didn't switch guitars.
I think they might just play everything.
They just transpose it.
Whatever they're playing in, they're probably playing everything in.
Right, because that also probably gives Russ some extra room.
And they're only playing one old song.
But the thing was, I never, like, even when I listened to SymphonyX a lot, like in the 90s, I was never like, oh, his tone.
Right.
Like it was fine. It wasn't bad, but I was never like, oh man, I want to get that tone. Like that was the thing. Like when you were listening to Dream Theater in 1994, you're like, I gotta have this sound. Like
Well,
this is amazing.
I thought the 5-tone was really good, but that was like the last. That was where I thought he nailed it. I felt like the early stuff before 5, it was hit or miss. Divine Wings of Tragedy, part of why a lot of people liked it, they claimed it was like his best tone. What it was his harshest tone. It was like harsh, but not super thin. And so it smoothed out after that. So people were like, no, you got to go back to where it like hurt my ears. Because that's what I honestly.
Well, no, most people lose their high end first.
Right.
And so they like super bright stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, so like it, which I actually, like Twilight and Olympus, I think was the best pre 5. But I feel like, he was like working towards 5. 5 was the best, because it was the closest to what I was using on the Triaxis at that point anyway. So I took like his settings and Petrucci's settings, and then I like found like this like sort of in between, like I used those as a jumping off point, and then I dialed from there. But I mean, I still liked it better than his, because my biggest problem with his tone was the pickups he uses. Is that the X2N? Oh yeah, that's
terrible pickup.
Right.
Well, and the same deal. Petrucci for a long time was playing Tone Zone, which is another terrible pickup. Yeah.
And so, but part of my problem with the X2N is that it worked for some of the SymphonyX stuff because it makes single notes sound way thicker and heavier. So when he's playing those like single, like, dun, 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 and it's all like it kind of worked for that, except that you still, it was always still a little too fizzy.
Yeah.
But
no, if you're trying to do that, the Blaze is a way better pickup to do that.
Yeah.
Or a Breed if you have 6 strings.
But the main thing is with his current tone at like this show, like I couldn't like whatever SymphonyX riffery they're supposed to be riffage periphery. See if they actually had riffs. That would be a good name for periphery. That is. But so
we can make a cat themed riffing band, and it'd be PURRIFFERY. That's our gimmick metal band. We're the cat. I hate cats too.
Yeah.
Which is why this would be hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like there was an ad that was circulating on the internet. Some woman had put this thing up on, I think it was on the Chicago Craigslist, that she needed an assistant for her cat circus thing. Like it was like legit. She's like, and I sent it to several people I know who are like annoyingly into cats.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we could like do the same thing. We could hire like a cat herder for like our metal and magic show.
You know how that would actually work is it's just a metal band, but all of your videos are just cat videos. Oh. So you just hire people to make videos with cats for every video. Dude, so all your music videos are cat videos.
And the internet, that would blow up.
They wouldn't even notice because like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
You know what? Well, the other thing is, I feel like it would be funnier though, and also easier to just do it with noise music.
Yeah.
Because like the juxtaposition of like cats like swatting hopelessly like eternally at things with like the gigantic storm of noise.
Yeah.
Like is very like Werner Herzog like dystopian future like
yeah.
Oh yeah, now I want to do this.
Oh man.
I have a noise album that's in the can. I should
Although I feel like with the Periphery name, I feel like it should be kind of like gent related.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like for the metal band. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The noise thing is not Periphery.
Right.
Periphery is a touring stage show that involves metal, cats, and circus acts.
Yeah. Well, we could somehow tie them like you heard. I think Eric mentioned that "Meow the Jewels." The latest Run the Jewels album is like a remix made up of like all cat.
Yeah,
sounds.
I listened to like 20 seconds of it.
I didn't actually listen to it.
I listened to 20 seconds of it, and I was like, I don't need to hear anymore. Yeah, because it was one of those deals where like, it's like, okay, there's a gimmick. I don't care.
I get it.
But because for me, it's the same thing when people are like, yo, did you see that 11-year-old play the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto? And you're like, totally. Did it sound better than a 27-year-old? Yeah. No, but she's 11. And I'm like,
right.
Okay, but is the music better?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, but she's 11. And you're like, no, that's not the criteria.
Right.
The criteria is not like, well, did some dude play it with his feet? Maybe. like that's not what the goal. The goal is for the music to be good.
Right. Like when people are like, look what this guy does with 2 guitars. It's like, but he can't like play one of them very well. Like,
right. But it's the music. It's the same thing with the Stanley Jordan thing where like you see it and you're like, this is amazing. And then you listen to it and you're like, just sounds like some notes.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Well, and my big thing with that whole, especially, you know, young guitar players on YouTube, the point where I really was like, this is pointless is because that's been going on since like the late 90s, right? Or since there's been like videos that you could send to people and say, holy shit, did you see this? And of those, and considering that's been happening for at least 20 years or so, which like really well-known guitar player now started off as a kid on YouTube playing shit at like 10 years old? I know none of them.
No,
so in other words,
I don't know.
Like it should have been fairly well established that being like a child, like a technical prodigy is no guarantee of future like musical
it's
output.
Actually, it's usually the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Because even if you play legitimately difficult stuff, like people who could play like Liszt and Scriabin as children, it's almost always they have an inhuman ability to parrot things.
Yeah.
And so then when it comes to either making their own interpretation, right? So like because they continue to play classical music composed by someone else, they don't really contribute anything to the dialogue. And when it comes to expressing themselves through composition or something, it's like it's just totally absent. Like it just doesn't happen. You know, usually the people who are like crazy prodigies and stuff like that, that it ends out going well is like, it's usually they start out playing their own stuff. Like it's one of those deals where, because again, Mozart like composed a symphony when he was 7, right? Or like Michael Hirsch didn't do it as a child. Like he started playing music very late in life, but again, it was like he did composition at the same time that he was learning piano. And the same deal. Like with guitar, it's weird because there's no standard rep. But yeah, right. No, it's one of these deals where, right, if you're being a good player and writing music are very different things.
Yeah, like the only time where it was truly like, oh, you play guitar fast, like here's your career, is like in the 80s. And that's exactly what like killed it too. Is everyone's just like, well, who cares? Like everybody can like shred
everybody
now.
can shred, right?
So who gives a fuck? Let's get all sensitive and really appreciate how bad it is to be like a privileged white person in the 90s.
Yeah, right. Yeah. College music. That's how we got college music.
And that's how we know that, you know, 311 was an inside job.
Yeah, dude.
And
well, I mean, I'm convinced, but they need to investigate 311.
Right. We need to investigate it. But I mean, you know, after they legalize ranch.
Yeah, priorities.
That's the priorities, right? But yeah, so this was all what SymphonyX related.
Yeah, well, I went to another show this weekend. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so we at least need to mention that we stayed to try
Overkill?
to right, which was a horrible mistake.
Yeah, it was.
We waited like 20 minutes for the changeover.
That was my fault.
Well, I don't blame you.
No, you were like, my plan had been to leave.
Well, I've had the same inclination in other situations. It was just I know that I so don't care about Overkill that I knew they were gonna come out and just be like thrash, 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 and I was gonna be like, that's Overkill. That's what they sound like. All right.
But you never know. Maybe he's going to come out with a mask and a cape and a cat and a sword.
In this particular scenario, I bet on not worth it, but we stayed and checked it out, and I don't know, it was...
Yeah, I was like, well, I figured we'll watch 2 songs and then we can talk about it. But no, it was exactly what we'd expect.
Yeah.
But whatever. If you're into thrash, like,
oh yeah, no, they were probably good if you like Overkill.
But it's, you know, it's just like, yeah, I heard it in the 80s.
Yeah,
because I was alive back then.
Yeah, exactly. Overkill hasn't really changed. So if that's what you're into. Also, you can't see this tour because that was the last show of the tour.
Yeah,
so,
right.
But we also weren't exactly pimping. I mean, Sanctuary was good, and SymphonyX, if you like their new stuff.
Right. If you like their new stuff, prepare to sing along.
Yeah. If you like the new album,
but
good for you.
It's pretty terrible.
Yeah, but I don't know why you like their new album because
Also, if you like pageantry, if you like Phantom of the Opera,
if you like pageantry, if you feel like there aren't enough masks in SymphonyX up to this point, like you feel like the whole mask theme, really, you've been waiting for it to like come through and work its way into the live show.
well,
This is your tour.
yeah, they deliver.
Yeah.
They deliver on this one. So anyway, so this Saturday, this is so great. I went to see Artificial Brain playing in Astoria. Now, okay, the main reason I went was because this Boston band, Swarm of Eyes, was on the bill, and it's actually one of my old students. It's his band, and they're pretty all right. But this was so weird because I'd never been to this place before. This is this place called Gussie's. Okay, and it's like you take the N all the way to the end. All right.
Oh.
And then you walk north, like towards like the power plant or whatever the thing is. And it's like a block from the power plant. Okay. This bar is amazing.
Wait, is this in Queens?
In Astoria. Yeah.
Oh, I think I've been there.
Okay.
I think I saw somebody there
Well,
once.
I will describe it to
Yeah.
you and you will know very quickly whether or not you've been in this bar before. It is a bar with no taps. It is cash only. And there are free Cheetos on the bar.
Oh man.
Okay, the stage. So it's very small. It's a narrow, long bar. The back area, like where there's the stage, they have some swirly lights and a disco ball. They don't have like stage lights. They don't have like cans or like a spotlight. It's literally like the lights you would see at a high school dance. Okay. So and then on the wall, like back by the stage, there are guitars. Okay, because like there's a sign that says live music every Friday and Saturday night. So you're like, okay, cool. Like they're keeping it alive, right?
Yeah.
So there's guitars. There's also swords, and I'm like, okay. Well, they have metal bands. That's cool. But yeah, so it was super weird because it was basically they served like bottled beer and they served liquor in like plastic cups. So that was weird. And then one other like random note. This isn't really like I don't know that this says a lot about the bar. It's just something I noticed that I thought was funny. They had this picture of like it was like a group of people and it said like Gussie's pool champion. There's no pool table at the bar, so I'm not really sure. Maybe they have a pool team and they go play other places. I don't know. It was weird.
I'm pretty sure it's the place I was before because looking at it on the map, it's like where Queens ends.
Right,
Basically,
that's what I'm saying.
You get there and you're like, this better be it because there's nothing else.
Right.
And the neighborhood near it too, you're just like, I don't want to wander around in this neighborhood.
Oh, it's a classic Queens. So I used to live in Queens, and it's a classic Queens neighborhood where buildings have so the sidewalk, right, is one kind of concrete, and there are buildings where the front it's fenced in, but it's not like a garden or anything. It's that same concrete,
Yeah.
right, where you're like, okay, because it's like if you have small children, I understand like you want to have a gate like so that the kids don't get out. Like to play on the concrete? I'm really confused. But whatever. Queens is weird.
Yeah.
I only lived in Queens for like 9 months. So I showed up super early because I thought Swarm of Eyes were gonna go on first. Well, they thought they were gonna go on first. But then the lineup got all turned around because like one of the bands dropped off and then like some other band came on and one dude was in two of the bands. So his bands played first and last. So because he's the vocalist. So his first band, the first band that played was this band called Buckshot Facelift. And it was so weird. So my overall comment about them was structure be damned, because it was basically just like formless death metal, and they were almost blurcore. Like the songs are really short, and after every song, the dude said thanks. And we're like, no one clapped, bro. Like, I don't know. Oh, okay. So here were some of their some of their song titles. Colossal Meat Smorgasbord. And then this was my, I don't know if favorite's probably not the right term. It was called Burn the Baby Raper. And I was like, wait, are these guys juggalos? Like, cause that sounds like a horrorcore song.
Yeah.
So I was like, so actually Burn the Baby Raper was earlier. And that's when I was like, are they juggalos? And then they were like, Colossal Meat Smorgasbord. And I was like, so they are juggalos.
Yeah.
But yeah, they only had one song that had like a coherent riff, discernible sections, and harmonies. Like the rest was just like blurcore death metal. It was super weird. They were really bad. So then the next band was called Scalpel, and they were like the replacement band. And it was like they were on a tour from like Boston to South Carolina, and they just like didn't have a gig for today. And when this other band dropped off, they like found out and got on. So these guys were really technical. Like the bass player had a fretless bass and he was playing in Axe FX. They were very competent players, but again, like you like their songs were indistinguishable from one another. And they had this weird setup where, so the bass player stood in the middle. At first I thought they might've been like a core band or something because he had hair that he looked like he just woke up and he was wearing like a flannel shirt and he had gauges. They weren't huge though. But then they were like this technical death metal band, but they had the one dude screamed and the other dude growled, but they were the two guitar players on either end of the stage. So the bass player who just plays bass stood in the middle, and it was really weird. They go, oh yeah, and at one point they were like, hey, give it up for Buckshot Facelift. Yeah, I mean, if you weren't here, you missed it. And I'm like, isn't that sort of the universal case? Like, if you weren't there, you missed it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they had weird song titles. They had one was called The Stink. One was called Methods to Delusion, and I was like of madness. And then they go, okay, and then this song, this had the dumbest title, but there was like a speech about it. He goes, this next one goes out to the smokers in the crowd. If you're coughing up some bullshit, you know what I'm talking about. Or then you know what this one's about. It's called Lung Butter. I was like, all right, so your pointless songs have pointless names too. Great. Yeah. Okay, so that was awful. Okay, so then Swarm of Eyes played, and they're not comically bad. So they actually, their songs are discernible from one another, and they have sections, and they have like riffs that you can follow, but they're just like a totally like straight up metal band. It's one of those deals where they're like, yeah, like we wanted to have a metal band, and you're like, mission accomplished. But like they're not bad, but I would never tell anyone like, hey, you need to go listen to this band. Yeah. They're like super generic. Okay, so then Gray Skies Fallen, who are a New York City, like if you look them up, they claim to be like a progressive something or other. No, they're like a bad doom band. Like, because so it's sort of like they would be like a second tier doom band, right? Like one of those, like, because you don't have to be into doom to listen to Candlemass or Solitude Aeternus, because it's just like they're so awesome. Yeah. But then there are those bands like November's Doom, where like only people who are into doom metal like listen to them. But these guys are like third tier because their lyrics are so just fucking stupid. Like they sound like you wrote them in 8th grade. Because you're like, that sounds like evil, doomy stuff. You're like, this is so bad. So that I pretty much tuned out for that. It's because my buddy Trent showed up. Because the headliner, Artificial Brain, they're from Long Island, and like Trent's from Long Island, and like he went to high school with all these guys, and so during their set, I started like Trent's always up for a discussion about pro wrestling. So I was telling him about some funny stuff, and this is relevant later. I told him about, we mentioned it. Remember the Nagura Bunget episode?
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
there's that girl wearing like the Undertaker.
Oh
shirt.
yeah.
Yeah. So I was like telling him about that. Okay. So then Artificial Brain goes on, and the dude, so the Buckshot Facelift guy, like comes up and he's the singer again. And first of all, like he has this crazy Long Island accent, like just crazy thick. And, he's wearing sunglasses, and I was like, what is with this? Like, first Russell Allen, and for people who don't know, I actually have this thing about sunglasses inside, because first of all, Sunglasses at Night is like my favorite rip off everything from every other song.
Yeah.
But secondly, so I'm like, I'm actually way more into MMA than I am pro wrestling, and there's a statistically significant thing for betting where if you wear sunglasses indoors at the weigh-ins, you will lose. You're almost guaranteed to lose.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
right.
that's interesting.
No, the other one is whoever has more tattoo coverage is more likely to lose.
yeah.
But that one's like, so that one's statistically significant. It's like 56%, but like but the sunglasses one is like 90%. Like it's a very strong indicator. So he's wearing sunglasses, and I'm like, Russ Allen and like all this stuff. But then I noticed like they had a band, but not like the I have a band for my glasses, kind of like, you know, like a glasses chain, like a, you know, like you're in chemistry lab kind of band, okay? And then halfway through the set, he goes to look at the set list, and he goes, I can't read it because my goggles are fogged up. And I was like, oh, they're goggles. And then, so I went and looked this up online. I guess he wears them all the time because like Artificial Brain, it's part of these, like, it's like supposed to be like this futuristic thing. Like I wear but he doesn't have a costume. It's not like he's wearing like some futuristic shit. It's like
just goggles.
He's like, here's my t-shirt and my goggles.
And my thematically correct goggles.
Yes. So now the thing about this band is, so they're part of this whole like New York City skronk thing, right? Like Dystrophy, Piron, Gigon, and I guess Gorguts is like half a New York City band now. And I guess Colin, I think, produced one of their albums or something. The thing is, so they're really technical, and like actually as far as skronk bands go, like I actually prefer the way that they play to the way, say, like New Gorguts is. But the vocals are awful because he alternates between unintelligible Cookie Monster and unintelligible Shrieking. And neither of them are like good. It's not like I don't know. I've never heard Cookie Monster where I was like, I don't care that I don't understand this because it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like crap, and the Shrieking sounds like crap too. So I was just like, okay, whatever. But I've been there for hours, so I'm like, okay, whatever. And then so I stay for the whole set, and there's this one bit of banner. He's like, I know some of you in Scalpel are into bluegrass. Do any of you fish? And they were like,
What?
Right. And they're like, no. And he's like, well, we got a thing in Long Island about this. This song is called Worm Harvester. And you're just like,
So
that sounds futuristic.
and like a thing somebody else in this room understands, maybe?
Yeah,
like that's a lot of like, hey, so some of you guys in that other band who are here, because that's what we care about as far as our audience goes, is the people who are in the other bands.
Well, that was
That's
most of the audience.
I mean, right, it's most of the audience, but it's also the most
because
important part of the audience.
That bar's really small.
Right.
There were like 30 people there, but there were like 5 metal bands, which each all had 5 people. So you have
it's at
20 other
capacity.
people. Right.
So it's at capacity before you let anybody in.
Well, no, but here's the weird thing. There were actually 10 women there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the female bartender. So there was 11. But I only saw 9 of them because you want to know who the 10th woman was?
Who?
Gigi. And
Oh, yeah.
but despite the fact that like, so she texted me before she came, but I got, like I said, I got there super early because I thought Sunrise were going over. I didn't have reception. So I leave the show and I have this text from Gigi that's like, hey, are you going to Artificial Brain later? And I text her back. I was like, yeah, I went. Like, sorry, I didn't have reception. I'm like, I hope you didn't decide to not go because I didn't get back to you or something.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't talked about it. We hadn't like planned on going together or anything. And she doesn't write back. So the next day I text her like ? And she writes, oh, hey, like, yeah. She's like, did you go? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, you know, I was there for Artificial Brain. I'm like, no. And I'm like, because me and Trent were there, and I'm like, and I was sitting at the bar, and Trent was like up by the stage, and she was like, oh yeah, I didn't go by the bar, like I was like in the middle back, and I'm like, no, you can't not go by the bar because the like you walk in the door, you're at the bar. This place is tiny.
Yeah,
I'm like, are you sure you went to the Artificial Brain show? And she's like, oh yeah, I totally went. She's like, I just didn't see you guys. She's like, but I had to like leave before I just got there for them, and then I had to leave before their set was over. And I was like, I'm still not convinced you went to this show because Gigi grew up in New York, and it's hilarious because she can't navigate her way around Manhattan. I'm like, it's a grid that is numbered sequentially. Like it doesn't, like you don't need to know where you are or where you're going. You look up. The process for navigating New York is as follows. For any of you who are afraid of like coming to New York because you think it's so intimidating, here's how you navigate New York, folks. So you look up at the intersection that you are at, and there will be a street number and an avenue number. And then whether or not the avenue number is even or odd, right, tells you which way the traffic goes, whether it's north or south. So then you observe the way the traffic is going, and you know which way is north. And now you know how to get where you're going.
Yeah.
Because the avenues go down as you go east, and the streets go down as you go south. So it's like, So I was like, man, I bet Gigi's like at some other bar, like just happens to have a metal show, and she thinks she's at an Artificial Brain show, but she swears she was there, even though it was the tiniest bar ever, and neither Trent nor I saw her. Okay, so then Trent and I leave the show, and I'm going home, and he's going to like some goth club, and so we both are getting on the end to go towards Manhattan. And since it's the end of the line, right, they do that thing where the train cars are just sitting there, right, and then it tells you like which one is next. And some people like sit in the train, some people sit on the platform, whatever. And so we walk all the way down the platform, like to get in the lead car, and there's this girl sitting on the platform on this bench, whatever, and we walk by, and then I wait till we get on the train, and it was like, hey, Trent, remember how I told you about that girl, the Nagarabungan show with the Undertaker shirt? I'm like, that was her. Like, she wasn't, it's not like she went to this other metal show. She wasn't at the show. She just randomly, this girl I just told a story about was on, and I was like, I'm like, but the thing was, like, I thought she was messed up at that show. I'm like, I don't think she recognized me. I was just, it was so funny. I was like, wow. What are the odds? It was so weird. But that whole thing was weird. But Gussie's keeps it real. If you have a crappy metal band and you want to play a show, live music every Friday and Saturday night.
I saw Shinobi Ninja there.
Oh yeah.
And
when?
Man, it must have been like last year. I want to say it was like last winter or fall because I think it was cold. But I partially
really narrow it down.
No, but I partially remember it because again, I was like looking for this place, and then you're basically like, I guess that's it because everything else ends here. Like this is where civilization ends. So there's the bar. And it was also memorable because this dude, Patrick, who worked at Sam Ash, lived like down the street from it at the time. Yeah. And so I saw him there. I didn't think Shinobi Ninja was a thing he would go to, but I think he just
was at the bar.
He just goes to all kinds of shows. Yeah, because he's just like down the street.
No, and it was funny because there was this point where some people walked in like earlier in the night. And again, like I said, there were like 10 women there. which proportionally that's like a third of the crowd. Like if you adjust for band members, then it's like that was like more women than dudes actually. And these people walked in and I was like, man, these girls are really cute for a metal show. And the next time I looked around, they were gone. I think they were just were looking for a bar to drink in, and then they were like, "Oh, it's a metal show.
There's a metal show going on here.
No,
maybe let's go a little further. Like they probably live down the street, and they're like, well, first let's try this one because it's like
it's right here
in stumbling distance. And then they're like, yeah, maybe not. So, and the other thing was that he wasn't even sitting at the bar. He was sitting outside when I got there.
Oh yeah,
like a lot of people were hanging outside smoking, and he was just like sitting like next to the entrance and like drinking a beer and just sitting there like. And I was like, "Hi, Patrick. Are you going to the same show I'm going to? I mean, you must be because there's nothing else for like a mile." But yeah, it was pretty random, but it was a good show. I like Shinobi Ninja. I don't know if you've heard of them.
No,
they're this. They're like. I partially know them because two of them, these two twins, Mike and Dave, machinist, they both went to UW, and they're from New York,
Madison.
Yeah, but they went to UW,
not
Madison.
Washington. Because I was watching the UW Seattle football game at the Artificial Brain show. That's what I'm sitting at the bar watching them.
Well, that's the difference, though,
lose to Stanford.
Is that Washington is UW and Wisconsin is UW. Oh. We say the whole letter.
I'd be like UW.
Actually, yeah. So my old band played a show with their old band. I like their new band much better than their old band, by the way.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to New York, I somehow became friends with them on Facebook, and it was like, oh, they have this new band called Shinobi Ninja. Their old band was like rap metal, like the worst version of rap metal, and their new band is like the best version of rap metal that I've heard thus far, because it's like it's more like old school rap and old school metal.
Oh, okay.
So like basically
it's not like every terrible band from the 90s.
Right. No, in fact, it's way more like there's way more obvious, like I think anyways, like 80s. I mean, here's what I think happened. Okay, because this is from my perspective. Now, I may be vastly skewing this story because I'm again telling it from my perspective. So, and on the off chance that they actually see this on Facebook and listen to this episode or something. So I didn't remember this until I went and actually saw them in New York, which took me like 5 years, right? I moved to New York, and I didn't like anyone who I didn't already have regular contact with.
Yeah.
I'm still catching up on people who I know in New York who I should have like hit up by now and been like, hey, remember how we know each other? So I know this dude on Facebook. He invites me to their gig, but everyone invites everyone to their gigs. Right. So you don't assume it's personal unless they like message you or like, hey dude, you coming to this thing? But one time he actually did that. He messaged me like, hey man, it's been forever. It'd be great if you came out to this show. We should catch up. And I was like,
pack the place because it holds 20.
Right. And but my thing, I was like, are we friends? And I didn't know it. Like, I mean, not Facebook, but like I met him at a show that we played, but like, I was like, so are you actually like intentionally trying to get me to like,
yeah, right.
I mean, but again, I'm still kind of like, okay, but also you're probably just good at promoting your band, you know, like it's a really good way to get people to come to your show is like, hey man, it would really mean a lot to me if you came to our show, and then say that to every human you can.
That's where I went wrong. I never said that to anyone.
Right.
I mean, like, you can show up or just drink later.
Right, which is what which is my thing too, because I'm more like, hey, especially if you're like a person I'm genuinely friends with, I'm like, it would be cool if you wanted to see my band, but if you don't, like, we'll still be friends.
Right.
Like, it's totally not.
I was like, this music is super dissonant and violent, and you probably will hate it.
Yeah.
If you want to come, that's cool. But no, but the other funny thing is like when friends of mine like would come to my shows and like think they're like, oh yeah, whatever. And then like one time like Dory hid in the bathroom for like those. I was like, why didn't you just go out front?
Yeah.
She was like, well, because in the bathroom it was sort of like at a listenable volume. Just like, So anyway.
So okay, so I finally was like, I really want to, I mean, I was also honestly, I wanted to talk to the dude because they seem to be doing a very good job without like a label or major represent. I mean, they have some deals. They have like a deal with Monster Cable and
I was going to say energy drink,
but
or the
definitely
or the
Cable,
getting a job website.
Right. No, the cables. But either way, like any of the, but energy drink would be honestly financially even better because those dudes
they do motocross and MMA.
Yeah.
So like that.
So that would be some.
It's right in the cash grab zone.
Yeah. I think they did like a tour or a show that had something to do with because I remember being like, wait, you got 2 monsters? Like
they might have had a festival. Did they?
Yeah. No, they did. Well, I
Like
think they're involved in Mayhem.
Like a Warped Tour kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they're involved in Mayhem. Maybe that's their tour. Which the one that I almost went to.
Natalie would know.
I almost went to that because King Diamond was on it, but now I'm glad I didn't because he's going to do Abigail. But I don't have to see other bands or be outside. But anyway, so Shinobi Ninja. So I finally went to one of their shows because he messaged me. I'm like, oh man, I feel like such a. I've been meaning to go see him. I honestly didn't really. I'd heard a little bit of their stuff online, and I definitely thought like, okay, this is more palatable than like the old band the guy was in. But it turns out I liked it way more. So I went and saw him, and here was my test, right? I'm like, does this dude actually remember me, or did they just like promote well?
Yeah.
So I say hey to him after the show, and he was like, dude, you came to the show. And I'm like, you remember me? Like, I don't feel like you should. But it turns out like he remembered us playing that show together. And apparently after the show, he was like, who do you listen to? And so I listed a bunch of like wanky guitar stuff like Dream Theater or whatever, and he went and listened to it. And now he's like, I mean, you know, he's still not like, you know, busting out like Michael Romeo solos during like a hip hop song, but it's like way more like there's riffs occasionally, and he does play like some solos and stuff. And so I was like, and so it was way more of like this version of like hip hop and metal together. I was like, oh, this is kind of okay and fun. And they have some actually very good songs in that kind of style. So,
do they play New York often?
They do, and they actually do a lot of like small. The only reason they don't is sometimes they go out of town and they have like
you got
tours and
that's
stuff.
a problem. A lot of New York bands think like oh well, where are we gonna play? Like that'd be better than New York, and then they never get like that was like I don't remember Hung ever playing a show outside New York City area, and then they all went on to do other things.
Yeah.
Like you know, you gotta like tour and stuff.
Yeah, well, these guys like they got on a Fuse thing. Like I don't know what a show on Fuse is called.
Sure.
But they were on one and talked, you know, and so promotion. And I'm trying to think what the other thing was. I mean, you know, they got a lot of good opening spots locally and stuff. But the other thing is that they have, I don't know if they own it or just are involved. I think they are in some way own or run a studio in like the East Side. You know, one of these kind of smaller ones. But I mean, you know, I've talked to them about, you know, doing some stuff there at some point too. So if I need a studio to just go and like record real drums and stuff, that might be good. And one of the other guys there, like on the website for the studio, clearly does like prog stuff. Like his own stuff is like super Dream Theater-y. And so I was like, so you guys like, so if I tell you what I'm going for, you'll kind of get the, like, So like, and like the main thing was that like their drums, I mean, I'm not surprised because one of the two, they're twin brothers. Okay. One of them's a guitar player and the other one's a drummer. And the drummer also, this is part of my other just random like 6 degrees of separation with these guys. One of my roommates in college, Michael, who was a keyboard player, and we were supposed to, you know, start the greatest prog band ever for a minute. And then he started playing with the University of Wisconsin show choir. Okay. And then it was like, okay, that's cool. Like, so you can do that for like a year or something, and then we'll like start this fucking awesome prog band. He's like, yeah. And then he like stayed in it for like 4 years. And just like the rest of his college was just like playing with this show choir. And this other dude, Dave Machinist, was the drummer for that show choir. And I don't think they like were friends or anything or got along. And he was like, but I was like, whatever, man. And then I, you know, saw these dudes in New York and I was like, oh, hey. And they're like, yeah, we actually remember. So I was like, maybe I'm like indirectly responsible for the fact that I like their newer band a lot more than their old band.
Because they're influenced by things I told them to be influenced by.
Right. I was like, what? That's crazy. Usually people say, what do you listen to? And then I just assume that I say a bunch of names they've never heard of and they go, okay, thanks. And then that's the end of it. But he actually like listened to some stuff. So that's cool. But anyway, so cool.
Maybe someday I'll tell someone to listen to Scriabin and they will.
That day. I'll listen to Scriabin.
that day.
I'll listen to it. I listen to stuff you mentioned sometimes.
that's the show. Thanks for listening. If you liked it, please subscribe on iTunes or yourmusicisbad.com. Also, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at The One True Matt. And if you got fighting words for us, send them to hatemail@yourmusicisbad.com. Or if you have nice words, you can send them there too. So until next time, this is Matt with my patented catchphrase. I'm turning it off now.